Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. I'm just a question asker. My name is Raheem Ajami out of Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Greensboro, North Carolina, by way of Honolulu, Hawaii, by way of this microphone that I'm on right now. How about that? But I'm not important. Like I said, I'm just a question asker. Phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We got a lot of topics we're going to talk about today. Today is Thirsty Thursday. We thirsty for that good conversation. So we thirsty for you to call in and be a part of it. But before we go another step further, before we go another iota, I got to say good morning. This is the wise man. This is Mr. Donald Toussaint. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hello.
Oh Lord.
Hello.
Oh Lord. we up against something this morning, y'all. We are up against something this morning.
Good morning. Good morning, brother. How about you? How you doing, man?
Hey, doing good, doing good. I got a question to ask you, Toussaint.
Mm.
I got a question to ask you, man. I looked at the news. A lot of time while I'm getting dressed in the morning, I pop the news on and I watch the news. They had a story on there that was a little I don't know if I want to say disturbing, but left me in an area of concern. And
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you what it was. Toussaint, this young lady, she was at a water park. I think here in the Georgia area. She was at a park, new no, had a new baby, newborn baby. And while they was at the park, they got this sign saying no eating or drinking close to the water. It's a little thing they got, I guess, for whatever reasons, safety reason, whatever it is. But they say no eating or drinking close to the water. You have to go back a little bit from the water and eat and drink. Though they
Mm.
do sell food there. Okay.
All right.
This young lady had her baby, and she said the way the baby like to go to sleep is to nurse.
Mm.
It's the way that the baby goes to sleep. So I'm asking the question: is it okay? Is it inappropriate? Is it inconsiderate? Or what is it for a mother if she want to nurse her child in public? Is that a good thing, bad thing, terrible thing? How do you see that?
Mm. Mm. Oh Lord have mercy. It's really normal.
For who?
This crazy society we live in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is she is she breaking them out and spreading them out and before the public to see, or is she covering them up with so the baby can nurse?
I think from the comment, say I didn't get all of that. They didn't really go into the detail, but I'm thinking what she did is like a lot of times the mother would put the child on the breast and have a cloth and she'll cover it
Hmm.
up. And
Yeah.
so if she did it in that way, yeah, they say no eating or drinking in this area, and technically that baby is eating and she is feeding in that area. So should the rules apply to even that breastfeeding your baby?
That's kind of extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going that that's petty.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Technically,
Mm-hmm.
that's a little far fetched. You mean to tell me they confronted her?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They told see the lifeguard came up to her and said, "Look here, ma'am, you can't do that here. You can't do that here," and made her stop or go back in the quote unquote feeding area and feed her baby in the feeding area.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I, I really can't touch that one because it don't make no sense. But it's technically he's looking out for his own well being as far as him being employed
Mm-hmm.
because he's enforcing the rules. Unfortunately, as we might see as petty, the baby now we gonna pick this. That's a child. If a child walk up there with a sandwich or something like that, you correct the situation. Well, you probably have to confront the child.
Mm-hmm.
You, kindly um, address it and say, you're not allowed to eat in this area.
Mm-hmm.
But you're talking about an infant.
Yes.
That's a touchy situation.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
But technically, unfortunately, it is what it is.
but see, and rules are rules, but
Insensitive?
yes, absolutely, because we're talking
Yeah.
about a baby and the baby eating, and really, from what she said and from how the story came across, she wasn't hurting anybody. I don't even know if a
Oh,
lot
we
of
know.
people. I don't even know if a lot of people were really even paying attention. But the lifeguard saw it, and he went up to her and said, "Ma'am,
Mhm,
ma'am, you can't feed the baby right here. You have to go over there somewhere and feed that baby."
mhm.
So, but my question is, and I know the technically he do have technically he's right technically, but
Mhm.
what's
Mhm.
just what does common sense come into that though? I mean, is common sense even a part of this equation at all?
On his part or hers?
Both.
Well, if you don't want no drama, sometimes you just got to be petty with people.
Mm,
Man, this we live in a society that, especially now, that you got to pick your fights.
yeah.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
you have. Unfortunately, that's what it is. You got to pick your fights because this world is crazy. But but the man, I don't fault him for it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't fault her for it. It's kind of like a judgment call,
Mm-hmm.
and because somebody gonna follow suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
If she does it, you imagine 10 mothers in the park in the water feeding their baby? Well, she did it.
Mm-hmm.
You let her do it
Mm-hmm.
because we don't we have a jealous spirit within ourselves.
So
You
basically, you're
know,
saying they have to draw that line somewhere.
you got to draw the line. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to draw the line somewhere. And she was just the one that was the example
Mm.
to enforce the rules. She was just the one. As bad as it may seem, it is what it is.
But
I
see,
mean,
the part that's troubling to me, the part that's troubling
mm,
to me is that the news said that they reached out to the park itself. Uh,
hmm
the head of the park
no
said,
comment.
yeah, they said they're not gonna comment on that. They would not comment.
No
Yeah,
comment.
yeah. And so
Mm,
they
I
basically what they did, they left their lifeguard, they left him out there by himself, man. They left him on his own. He
Yeah,
enforcing their rules, but they said we will not comment on that. We have no comment.
right. Less is better.
Mm-hmm.
The more you say something in response to anything, the more confusion you're gonna have. So just don't say nothing.
So basically, hearing you say that, he should have just left her alone, let her feed her baby.
No,
Okay,
mm-mm,
okay.
no. He did his job.
Mm-hmm.
We'd probably be talking about how they fired him if he wouldn't have. If somebody else, as far as his superiors, would have found out that he allowed that to happen,
Mm-hmm.
he'd probably be looking for a job.
Wow.
It's just that. It's just that. This is the society we live in. I mean, life is a big test
Mm-hmm.
on how you gonna operate. And so, as far as they're concerned, as an employer, all they have to do is no comment.
Mm-hmm.
What we got to comment as an employee with those rules set in place. They don't have to justify themselves because the sign was up.
Mm-hmm.
Done deal. No matter who don't like it. I don't care if the baby just come out the womb and needed to eat. Go over on the other side and feed that baby.
Mm.
And when you confront us with that, no comment. Done.
Are we to stick? Are we as a society to stick to the rules? Just that strictly to the rules, man, and not.
When you're going to make exceptions and who you're going to make the exceptions to, because making exceptions to rules cause problems.
Mm-hmm.
You're exception to the rule. Well, why?
Mm-hmm.
The next question is, why are you allowing exceptions to the rule? Being sympathetic? There might be a reason why they don't want food in the water park.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Then why sell it?
so what?
Food. Why sell it? I mean, they sell food there. You know.
They sell it over there. They don't sell it in the water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
But
saying.
she wasn't in the water. She was next to the water. That's my whole point. She wasn't in the water. And I understand what you're saying because they have it's a certain parameter. I understand that. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
In the within the realms of the parameter that's restricted from food. She was in that area. So move.
Wow.
Please. If you don't mind.
I would love it. Melissa. I see Melissa. Good morning, young lady. Glad to have you with us. And anybody else, the phone lines are open. I want to hear from a lady and from a young lady. So, Melissa, if you're available for a minute or two, call in 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. I'm gonna put the number on the screen here. Give us a call because I want to hear from a young lady because you and I could talk. But this young lady was trying to, only thing she was trying to do, and right or wrong, only thing she was trying to do was to feed her child. That's all she was trying to do, feed her child. And she got targeted. Some would say she got targeted because of the fact that she wanted to feed her child. Yes, there's rules there. Yes, there's things that say that you should not eat now in this area. Do you even, and see my thing, do you even put that in the same category? A sandwich or a drink or something like that, would you put a natural act in that same category? Tucson, what do you say to that? Because breastfeeding is a natural act. It's a natural act. So would that be in the same category as a sandwich, a hot dog, cheeseburger?
That's a little petty. You would say that it's a little petty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would say that's a little petty. But technically, it is what it is. See, the thing about it is you have to figure out why the rules are set in place.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know why, and of all things, I know they sell food because that draws people. You put some food there, they're going to come.
Yeah.
But it's not in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But something has possibly happened to enforce that rule. No drinking, no eating in the water. What now? You say it's a water park or something?
It's a water park, yes.
Where they got the little water come out the ground and you just...
Well, they got that. They got the water slides and all that stuff. It's an actual water park where you can actually go swimming and slide down the slides and be in the water and all that as you come down the slide. You know, like a regular, like a Water World, something like Water World.
Yeah. So Melissa says that that's not the same category. That means that the I understand, and she says she's not able to go. So breastfeeding is, like we are saying, same thing. I agree with that. That is it's different. It's natural.
Yes, exactly.
It's almost like the baby is connected to the mom, and it's the way that they do is they take the thing and they take and they cover it up, you know, and the baby is underneath.
Yes,
because they got clothes and garments for breastfeeding in public.
Yeah, exactly. And see,
and it's a normal thing.
Yeah, and that's my whole point. To me, it's a natural act. You're feeding your child. I mean,
yeah.
And see, my
what you just said. What you just said?
You're feeding your child.
That's what you got.
That's where the problem lies.
That's where your problem lies.
Mm.
Now there might be Jim Bob. That's kind of like he's a little special.
See, my response, my rebuttal to that is it that you're feeding your child, or is it that you're breastfeeding your child in public? Because I don't think that if she had the milk inside of a bottle and she did the same thing right there in that same spot, I don't think it would have been treated or dealt with in the same way.
You know,
I don't think so.
well, if not, that's a problem. Again,
Mhm.
that's another problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't let them feed by the bottle, if you don't let them feed by the breast, you shouldn't let them feed by the bottle.
Exactly. And so I think if
So that's another
had
problem.
that lady had a bottle, the milk in a bottle, and fed it and took the bottle out, put it in the baby's mouth, I don't think they would have reacted in the same way. I think it was more because of the fact that she was breastfeeding, and it's a water park, so you have children and stuff out there, and so maybe that was their concern. They didn't want the children to see it, and so they rather had a designated area, which most places do not have a designated area for a mothers to breastfeed. They don't. We hadn't come that far yet. And so that's that. I think that's a part of the problem as well. She was breastfeeding. She was breastfeeding.
Feeding.
Yeah. I understand what you're
Feeding.
saying. I understand exactly what you're saying, and you have a great point. Yeah, feeding. That part is true.
And I know that especially, and it'd be good that we can have this man conversation all day long, but this is a fight for women.
Mm-hmm.
This is a right as a mother to take care of her child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Need at that point, right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're pushing it.
Yeah.
Because you can read. I'm just saying, I hate to be the ugly guy,
Mm-hmm.
but I grew up like that.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help it. I tried to not be the ugly guy.
Lord.
But
Lord.
so here's the thing, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that, I don't know, it's more of not being an issue than we make it to be?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people don't want you feeding your kid on the bus
Mm-hmm.
or in the grocery store, at the
Exactly.
restaurant.
Exactly.
They'd be like, we can't do that here. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about some problems.
I remember Tucson. When I was in high school, I graduated high school in Hawaii, and I had a part-time job as a waiter at Pizza Hut right outside the military institution, whatever you call it. But and one Friday, every payday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is gonna be real busy, and we was busy, and I had the table, I went over there, I'm taking the order, and the young lady, it was a party of about 6 of them. The young lady, she had a baby, and she took out her breast, laid a little thing over there, and fed the baby. And everybody that worked with me, they was looking at me like they were just staring at me. They wanted me to react in a certain way. I didn't do it. I didn't react in the way they wanted. I continued what I was doing, took the order, went over there, got the drinks, took it to the table, and went back waiting on their pizza to get ready. And everybody came up to me, man, you didn't see that? See what? That lady, what she was doing? She was breastfeeding the baby right there in front of you. I said, okay.
Well, and I agree with Melissa. It's very natural. We was at I recently went to California to my triplets, my sons and a daughter-in-law's triplets birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you think that's something,
murder was the case that they gave you. Murder was the case that they gave you. Just kill that bug, man. Murder was the case they gave you.
I missed.
Okay, lucky you. Go ahead.
Attempted murder.
Exactly.
She got 3.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there, and we're having a party with grown folks, children, and stuff like. She grabs the baby, she covers up, and she feeds one, She grabs the uh, gives the father or somebody else that one, grabs another one, keep the party going. What, what the baby hungry?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's. I mean, and Melissa said it's a beautiful thing.
And it is.
Process. It is. It is. I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
um, it's natural. It's just normal.
Mm-hmm.
You don't kick a dog for breed. I mean, for feeding their children,
Exactly.
their puppies.
It's natural.
You let it move, moving right along.
That dog, and I'm not, and I don't want people to think I'm not comparing an animal to a dog, or a woman to a dog. I'm
No, I'm
not.
not
That's
doing
not.
that. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no,
I
no.
apologize.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
apologize. I'm just talking about the natural act.
Exactly. I want to make sure we make that clear because I don't want
Because
we get those
I
emails.
just mentioned we always see what I'm talking about, Raheem.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah, but like I said, we have
The
to.
problem said you got to now you got to defend yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just wanted to put
So
it out
we're
there
gonna nip that right. We're
now.
gonna nip that right in the bud.
Exactly.
Go feed your child over there.
Exactly. We got a couple of people on the phone line now. I'm going to
Good.
order it in the order in which they
Thank
call in. And Rico is next on the line, so I want to go to Rico. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Just happy to see another beautiful new day. How everybody doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to have you with us this morning, sir. We're talking about breastfeeding. We're talking about breastfeeding, and what happened was there was a young lady here in the Georgia area. She was at a water park, and while she was at that water park, she had a newborn, and they got this area right there by the pool area, I guess it is. She was sitting there, and truth of the matter, they had a sign: no feeding, no eating, no drinking by the pool, and so that is a rule. I want to make sure that's clear. That is a rule. But what she did, she took her baby and she breastfed her baby, covered it up, covered everything up and breastfeed the baby. The lifeguard came over and said, "Ma'am, you can't do that here. You have to go over there and feed your baby. You can't feed your baby here." First of all, is that considered? Yeah, technically it is feeding, but it's a natural form of it. Did they go overboard? And the news actually contacted the water park itself, the owners of the water park, and they would not even comment. They said, "We have no comment on that, none." So they left the lifeguard out to fend for himself. So what do you say to that, man? Is that a good thing or bad thing, or are they going too far, or was she just totally wrong?
They did exactly what they said. The rules apply. I mean, the rules apply.
Mm-hmm.
You could fix it and call it natural or call it whatever you want to call it. It's still feeding. It's still eating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might not have even been a breastfeeding issue. It might have just been the fact that, hey, man, if we don't stay strictly by the rules, then other people would start trying to find ways to say, well, hey, she's feeding her child.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a snack.
Mm-hmm.
You give people a line, an inch, and they'll take a mile. So this is one of those issues. I wouldn't have a comment neither.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say we are not discriminating.
Wow.
We're not giving any entitlement, any bias, any privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ain't nobody coming back suing us for discrimination, talking about they said no food and no eating over here, but then all of a sudden she feeding her baby because you just said it. She is feeding her baby.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change that language and make it mean something different. Webster's ain't fixing to change definitions around. You said it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obvious she was feeding her baby. I think this topic is over.
Wow.
Honestly.
And see, my question
because
is
the
this.
issue.
My question is
Go
this,
ahead.
my question is this right here. And I understand what you're saying. And truth of the matter, you have an absolute you have a point. You have an absolute point because you can walk down that is a real narrow line that they can say, well, I'm being discriminated against because you allowed her to feed, quote unquote, feed. Yes, that's absolutely true. But my thing is, and this might be thin itself, what I'm about to say, but natural food is different. And the way I mean that is just a sandwich and all that stuff, eating and drinking sodas and stuff like that. That's one thing. But what breastfeeding is a natural act between a mother and that child. So I think this is just me talking. I could be totally wrong, but I think that had she had a bottle and fed that baby with the bottle, I don't think the response would have been the same.
Well, see, that's your opinion, and
Yeah.
that's what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But the company and the owner of that company still gonna say she feeding that baby.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter if she feeding it or the baby is feeding itself. If the baby was 2 years old, then she probably would have to feed that baby certain foods.
Mm-hmm.
She would still be feeding it. Look, eating is natural.
Yeah.
I don't know where you coming from with this breastfeeding is nat. All of it is natural. If we don't eat, we gonna leave here.
Mm-hmm.
That's from birth.
Mm-hmm.
You get malnutrition, you mess around, have flies around your mouth, and your belly be swollen up.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it's natural for you to have to nourish your body. That's what she's doing. It ain't no separation in that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's coming from that bosom, or whether it's coming from a bottle, or whether it's coming from a hot dog tray,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
you're still being fed.
Mm-hmm.
Eating is eating, feeding is feeding. I mean, this is one of those situations once again where it doesn't have to be such a big situation unless they discriminated against her. They
Mm-hmm.
did.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They
Okay.
didn't say, hey, you. I mean, even if it was a problem with her having her breast out, they didn't even have to mention it because she's doing what? She's feeding that baby.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. And that's one of the reasons why I love the morning glow, because everybody have an opinion. And I can't say the way I feel about it is my way, the way Rico feel about it his way, and everybody else, Tucson and Tucson, that's their way, and they see it the way that they see it. Can't say nobody is wrong. I mean, I can't say that he's wrong. I can't say that he's wrong because he's making some very valid points as to what he's talking about. Let me go to Cassandra and we got a couple other callers. Callers, please hold on. We're gonna come to each and every one of you. Be patient with me. We're gonna come to each and every one of you. I heard the phone line blowing up, so please be patient. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
What do you see in this, Cassandra? What is the right and the wrong? Because she got targeted, and this is her word. She said she got targeted because she was breastfeeding her baby. Now, in a no feeding area, they do have sign. It does say that you cannot feed close to the pool. Feed close to the pool, but she was breastfeeding her. Technically, breastfeeding her child. Did they go too far?
No, she was wrong. She was wrong. She could have walked over to an area where she could feed the baby all day long if she wanted to. If the rules say, and it's clearly stated, that no feeding, then that means no feeding. It doesn't matter how it goes. What she was thinking in her head, she was feeding near the pool area, and they say no feeding. So it's no justification for that. You can't make a wrong right. She was wrong. And that's not targeting, that's following protocol. We can't want it both ways. We can't want things to be done right and then but put a but in there, but under these circumstances, no, she was wrong. She could have just moved to an area where she could feed freely.
Wow. And see, and that's what I was waiting on a young lady's standpoint of how she feel about it. So, Tucson, talk to me, brother. And we got Ibrahim. We're going to go to Ibrahim right after you. Talk to me, man. What do you hear in this whole situation?
You don't want to. You can get you might have more problems by not enforcing a rule, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You don't never have to justify yourself for discriminating if you just follow the rules.
So strictly by the letter, though.
By the letter.
Wow.
No ifs, ands, or buts. If you have to change it for one, people are strange now.
Mm-hmm.
We got this society that everybody want to be acknowledged. And here's another person that then got famous.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to it. How many people commented on her posts and all that kind of stuff like that. But just I'm clear. He's clear. I mean, they didn't leave him out there by himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one thing about it is he ain't got to worry about looking for no job this morning.
Because he enforced the rules. Because he enforced the rules. Okay.
We good.
Mm-hmm.
We good. He don't have to worry about them coming to him and reprimanding him. And then he don't have to worry about somebody else that will follow her. and say you allow that to happen to her. Here I come.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got some more. The rules clearly say no eating.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know that's a baby. Be sympathetic. You know, being sympathetic in this society can get you in trouble.
Very, very much.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
just telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So enforce the rules and be done with it. Of course, this conversation gonna go away. It's difficult. The baby gonna grow up and they're gonna remember the baby. They should have put a baby name out there. She'll be famous.
Mm.
He, she. And I looked at it. I thought, you know, I looked at it because I wanted to find out who it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So you know, because we always want to say, well, they did it to. It wasn't us.
No, it wasn't. It was not. It was not.
It wasn't us.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So simplify the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was one of us. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just fix this right now. Simple. Make it simple. That way we won't have to comment on it. What
Wow.
did he do? Enforce the rules. Done.
Mm.
You can come knocking at the door. We want see news media want to have a
That could have turned
great.
that could have turned ugly at the time that it happened. That could have turned ugly had the lady spoke out and was, I guess, ugly about the situation, because she would have rallied other people. I'm trying to feed my baby, and that sympathy part of it could have caused a problem.
For her,
No,
not him.
no, for him.
How?
Because had she started speaking out and rallying other people to support her, I'm just trying to feed my baby, and they only, you know how people could blow stuff up, man, and right or wrong, because in this instance she would be wrong, but people don't care. Sometimes people don't care about right or wrong; they just want to make their point. And so if she started rallying out there talking about these people won't even let me feed my baby, blase blase, and then she get a bleeding
Read
heart.
the sign, sir. Read the sign, sir. Read the sign. Simple. I mean, no matter how we argue with you, read that sign.
Mm-hmm.
No parking on the dance floor.
Mm.
Simple.
Absolutely. Let me go to Ibrahim. I try to pull you in there for a second, Tucson. Let me go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Well, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. I'm feeling good this morning.
Good deal. Good.
I'd like to I'd like to mention the people in Sudan that are homeless and starving to death out in the desert of southern Sudan.
Ibrahim. We got a topic, brother. We talking about what we talking about, man. You come in here and change the whole topic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about what we talking about.
I want
to
change the topic. I'll just remembering.
Okay. Well,
anyway, okay, the topic. Yeah, question I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did the sign say no feeding, or did it say you cannot eat?
Well, it says no eating.
I can't remember where it says.
It says no eating. It says no eating close to drinking close to the pool.
The second thing I would like to know, that somebody said there are laws suppressing that. Actually, when I was coming up, breastfeeding was even done in the church. It was done kind of, like covered up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people breastfeed in different parts of the country, in a couple parts in Central and South America, in public, you see. And then actually a few years ago, there was another Supreme Court decision rendered upon that a woman has the right on policy from the women lift. It must have been long 10 years ago. That was a big thing about a woman in the workplace being able to breastfeed a child.
Mm-hmm.
And that was ruled upon the Supreme Court. And another thing I'd like to refresh our memory about law. Law is fluid. Law changes. Law is a living thing, you see.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on people's needs, social standing. So, and biologically, that is the most nutritional way that anybody can be fed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rephrase that. That the children can be fed.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say that that since that's the most natural way. I mean, look what the child gets. The child gets immunity to certain diseases and microbiome. It's an antibiotic, and it's also to to feed.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing wrong with that, right? So I think that we impress some kind of Puritan thinking about these kind of things, and we don't actually use our brain to see, well, this is the most natural thing, this is the most needed for the child. It's better than being fed off a ball at a certain age. Now, some people went crazy about it, and I've seen people try to breastfeed the children up to 9 years old. It was about a boy incident. It's about the Supreme Court decision.
But let me ask you this question,
But
Ibrahim.
no,
Ibrahim,
go ahead.
let me ask you this question, right? And I hear what you're saying about the nutritional value. All that's fine, and you again, you have a great point. That is the best way to feed your child, most natural. But would that child get more nutrition by the pool or over there in the designated area where they supposed to feed the babies? And so I think that's a part of the argument right there. She gonna get he or she gonna get the same nutrition here and over there. And so, but we don't want you to feed the baby here. We want you to feed the baby over there because we don't want any eating to go on or drinking to go on in this area. And so, what do you say to that?
Well, I would say just like well, is it better for a woman to wait till she go home to feed her child? The child's stomach and the feeding thing doesn't tell them that. You have to really wean a child and train a child on certain things, right? I mean, to be the healthy way to do it. Thank God I was a breastfed baby, and my sister and brother. But this is the most important thing. This is developing your life. This is your bond with the mother. So no, nature speaks. If you gotta take, science say don't. A story. I went into a quick trip, and at night they so short they try to close up and everything. So I went in there, and this one. The manager was like almost a teenage little white boy. He had a black guy behind that. So as soon as I walked in there, I got a couple things. I ran to the bathroom because man, I'm 72. I gotta go. And he put signs up, close the bathroom door. And I started going. I said, hey, I gotta go in there for a minute. He just put them up there. He wasn't getting ready to clean them. He was preparing to clean them. And I said, hey, I gotta go in. He said, well, it's against the rules, right? You can't go in there. I said, what about? And I told this blank boy, I said, look, what about urinating my pants? That's a real thing, right? He said, well, that'll be some savage or crazy, some stuff like that. So I said, I tell you what, check this out. I went in the women's bathroom. Because he told me I was wrong for that, and then he didn't want to take my money to bought some coffee and stuff. He didn't want to take my money. Now, understand how I can see that. I can glean off. First thing come in my mind, oh, here we go again. It's 1965, 1961 again. Whatever. Okay. And
gotta keep it moving,
he could have been raised a certain way, but it was so stupid. Not to let me use use the restroom.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But this is the same thing. It's your opinion and your social upbringing. A lot of people don't even see the need for breastfeeding.
Okay. Stay right there, Ibrahim. Stay right there. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. We gotta keep this thing moving. Still got that 3 minutes. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say about that? Because he said it's more natural. It's the most natural way to do it, and blah blah blah. All that's fine, that's good. But what's on your heart?
I'm not gonna address that because they didn't address that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say no breastfeeding in the park. They didn't say you got to go to the feeding area and you still can't pull that tit out.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say that at all. They just said no food or no feeding in this area. You got a designated area to do all your feeding. She could have pulled out both of them. That wasn't even a discussion, but you see how people could come in from the outside and make issues out of something that shouldn't even be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
That woman probably could have went over there to the picnic area or to the cafeteria, wherever, and breastfed 2 or 3 babies. She probably could have donated some. They probably wouldn't have cared,
mm-hmm.
long as she was in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that was the issue, but we're making that the issue. And that really is something that we need to sit down and look at how this conversation is even going, because it happens a lot
mm-hmm.
when people just make issues out of something that doesn't exist. Breastfeeding wasn't the issue. She just happened to be breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
But they say you can't do it over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't say you can't do that in this part. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to discriminate against you. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But had they done that, it would have sort of been, I could understand some of the arguments behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do have some people that are over-sexualized or hyper-sex that would get a turn on from that, some child, some adult. It doesn't take much for some people to get sexually aroused.
Mm-hmm.
Even in that most beautiful form. Some people think that's, they got porn called pregnant poppers. They specifically want to bust pregnant women. Ain't that something?
Mm.
somebody find that attractive.
Wow.
Somebody like molesting kids. So imagine what they think about a baby sucking on that mama's
Breath.
suckling on that mother's bosom.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they might get, they might get a little turned on. So you do have to be aware and mindful of the fact that some people look at things in a perverted way.
Wow.
So it behooves a woman to want to hide that anyway in this day and time, in this hypersex society. But once again, the conversation ain't even about breastfeeding. The conversation is about eating in designated areas.
Exactly. Cassandra?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing else for me to say. She was going against the rules, and that's it. Bottom line, she should not have been breastfeeding in the area where she was.
Wow. Anybody else have anything they want to say on this topic before we move on to the next one? We got another one we're going to talk about. That's similar, but not the same as this. Go ahead.
I would like to say that again, unless there's a reason like toxicity or something like that, now or something of that nature, right? There's a difference between eating someplace food or take out for whatever you're doing in some place, the trash you leave or unhealthiness. I've seen that come out a lot during the coronavirus, about leaving certain that have been in your mouth and stuff like that. There's a lot of things. Unless there was something about chlorine poisoning, like I said, Supreme Court decision a rule on that time and time again about that. What place is appropriate is a place when, mostly when that baby, unless it's some chemical hazard, a breathing hazard, on which nobody should be over there in the first place. A baby, it's been rules about that. When that baby, if you've been around an infant baby and must breastfeed, or infant baby, period, I mean, they start, man, that shrieking sound like, and it's designed to raise the mother's ire, but the father's ire, like, well, I need to get out of here, go get some food or something for this kid, So that's part of the nature. That baby don't decide where you be at when you want to feed. Now, some people have regular schedules where they feed, but when that baby gets home, that stomach gets right, or he needs that nutrient or the antibiotic from his mother, he will let you know. That's the only way he can let you know. And you know what? As soon as you get that in his mouth, he start getting some milk. You might mama one more time. Next thing you know, you at the burp and he gone. He goes just like old fat man. Like, you feed me, roll me over. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, but see,
You know what I mean?
but
So,
see
okay,
but see, my thing is, and I don't mean to cut you off, brother, but that like Rico said, that's not our argument. She could have very well did that whole situation that you just talking about, feed the baby in the designated area. See, this is an area, and this is an area right here where they're talking about where they didn't want any feeding or eating or drinking in this area. Now, technically, if people want to be real technical about this thing, Cassandra, everybody, and Rico, everybody have a point, because that is feeding. No, that is, the baby is eating in that area in which they said they don't want any eating and or drinking in this area. So technically, they do have a point. But she could have very well, they didn't say that, you can't feed your baby. You just can't feed your baby right here. You have to go over there. And so if we look at it in that way, I think we can move on to another topic, because I think we've exhausted this right here, because what it is she did not do it in the area that was designed for her. She did it in an area where they say no eating and or drinking, and that is what the baby was doing, eating and drinking.
Another thing, there's no area actually designed for a woman to breastfeed. Like I said, again, you can check some pretty. I had to go look at research to see for the citizen. I wish what's his name was here, because he's good about checking out the bills like that. But no, that's
Badger's actually watching us right now. He's watching.
Remember that? Okay. Leonard Cook. All right.
Okay.
So, from wherever you at, right? From wherever you at, the woman.
You're breaking up on me, brother. Ibrahim, you're breaking up on me. Hold on, we got to keep this thing going. Let me go to Ryan. Ryan, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, doing good.
The baby being fed. So what I'm saying.
Hey, Ibrahim, we got to come back to you, brother. You're breaking up real bad. We got to come back to you. Okay. Ryan, I know you've been listening, brother. What is on your heart about this whole situation? She was at a water park here in the Georgia area, and they said no eating or drinking next to the pool. No eating or drinking. She started to breastfeed her baby in that area. I was going in another direction, but I go this way. She started breastfeeding her baby in that area, and the lifeguard came to us and said, "Ma'am, you cannot feed your baby here. No eating or drinking in this area." She complained and went, back and forth for a minute. She had to stop breastfeeding her baby and move to a designated area. Was he right or wrong? Technically, who was in the wrong in this instance?
Man, so technically he was right, but you look at that situation, he being petty. Like, it's an infant on the mom's breast. Ain't affecting nobody, ain't affecting no animals, ain't affecting people in the pool, right? As long as she covered up, right? Just some level of decency. And even, in my opinion, that's going too far. If you getting on somebody's case for feeding a baby, you can't see nothing. You know what I'm saying? So,
but technically, is she breaking the rules?
Technically, yes, but I don't know, man. It's kind of like for real. You know what I mean? Like, if the rule is no eating or drinking, generally when you think of the rule of no eating or drinking, they're worried about crumbs or some sort of beverage of some type falling into the pool or somebody dropping their food. We're not talking about an infant on the person's body. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like that's technical, way technical. Like you just kind of being petty at that point.
Wow. But to everybody's point, man, the rules do say no eating or drinking next to the pool. Technically, like I said, again, if you want to get technical about it, the baby is doing both right there next to the pool. And so,
but that's like,
now you can similar to
Ibrahim,
sometimes.
Ibrahim.
Okay.
Hold on, brother. I got a few more
Go
people. Hold on.
Mm.
Let me go to our Badger. What's on your heart, brother? Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I was just sent the video. And this happened in Georgia, right?
Yes.
So the place apparently cried about it a little bit. However, they tried to use that petty, it was a water park, where they were telling her that she couldn't do this. However, but here's the kicker though. State law says that she can. Georgia has a law that says wherever a mother and a child is, they can breastfeed. So the business called and apologized to her, even though she didn't think it was sincere. And said that they will be changing their policies to abide by the law.
So basically, what you're saying is they was wrong.
Yeah, they were wrong for. I mean, if it's a state law, that's a public place, and if the state law says that that's acceptable, that's a business thing.
Now, see, my thing is, my issue with that part is this: if these people have a business and they have rules for their business, I understand you have to stay within the laws of the state. I understand that part, but at the same time, if they have specific rules for their business, shouldn't you abide by the? If you're gonna go into the establishment, shouldn't you abide by the rules that they have set for their business?
Well, there is no rule of that business that says that a mother cannot breastfeed their child.
It say no feeding, no eating, no drinking in this area next to the pool. That's their rule.
Yeah, and breastfeeding does not fall into that category.
Now we're trying to punch holes in something. It's a no eating or drinking. I think that covers everything. Eating or drinking next to the pool, whether it's and I'm just trying. I'm the question asker, brother. So I'm not coming at you in any kind of way. I just want to get some clarity as to where you're coming from.
So, as most of us know, when it comes to laws and terminologies and things like that, the legal system likes to be very interesting. There are some things that, in a normal sense, it should fall under eating and drinking, right?
Yes.
But due to the law, the system, it's in a different category.
Wow.
So therefore, if a business does not want a mother to breastfeed, they have to state.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that's interesting to me, man, how we can selectively put things in different categories because we feel that it fits our narrative. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Good morning, young.
Raheem,
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, we live in America, man.
Oh, I understand that. Yes, ma'am.
okay, so the code is Code Statute 31-1-9, and it was brought about in 1999 for the state of Georgia. It says that the breastfeeding of a baby is an important and basic act of nurture which should be encouraged in the interest of maternal and child health, and allows a mother to breastfeed her baby in any location where the mother and child are otherwise authorized to be
Wow.
in Georgia.
Yeah.
Now that's a whole, another dynamic on it. So yeah, you were not authorized by that business to feed in that area.
Yeah.
So it says where the mother and baby are otherwise authorized to be. In that area, it says no feeding. So to me, that kicks out the idea. They didn't say she couldn't feed her baby, just not in that designated area.
Exactly.
You were not authorized to feed in that designated area. I don't know, tomatoes, but she should have just went over. It wasn't that far, I'm sure. Just walk over to an area where she could breastfeed all day long.
Wow. And is what's amazing. Oh, let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
How y'all doing?
Hey.
Good morning. Good morning.
Toya, we're talking about breastfeeding. The young lady here in Georgia that was at the water park, and in an area next to the pool, they say no eating or drinking next to the pool. No eating or drinking. She took out and started breastfeeding her baby. The lifeguard came over and said, "Listen, ma'am, you can't do that here. You cannot do that here. You have to go over in the designated area where you can eat and drink, but you can't eat and drink here. No feeding here." Now, who's right? Who's wrong? Was it overkill on their part? We're talking about breastfeeding. We're talking about a baby. Or are we getting so sentimental to the fact that it was a baby that we're overlooking the fact that there's rules, no eating or drinking in this area? What do you say to that?
I mean, well, I had some entitlement, some privilege, and we kind of overdoing it. I think it's both. We humans got the tendency to do everything we want to do except for the right thing. I don't know why. And I hope that woman, she vouches for the right thing, because I get it. My baby hungry, my baby eating, I need to feed it right away, I got diabetes, I need to eat right now, can't wait till I get over there. Okay, I get that. However, everywhere we go in this world, when it's outside of your house, there's rules. And when someone comes over and says, hey, I get it. I know that you have diabetes or got a baby and you need to eat something, and that's fine, right? And while you're eating your cracker, you could be walking over to the designated area, because sometimes it's safety reasons why we can't do things. There's a multitude of reasons why they have these rules set forth for the protection of the client and the privilege or the company. You know what I mean? And I think that we fail to realize that. I think a lot of us, this is why I think a lot of other foreign nationalities have an issue with us Americans, because we entitled and privileged. What happened to respect? What happened to manners? What happened to consideration? Because I'm a woman too, but I cannot stand when I be at work and I just see this. If you got a little cover, okay, I get it, because we could think the baby's asleep, but your boob just out, baby just sucking on it. Hell, we all out here hungry and thirsty. What you talking about? But you just out willy-nilly because you don't care. You're entitled. You're in privilege. Oh, I'm a woman. I got to feed my baby. I got to do this. You know what I mean? So I kind of get it to an extent. But long as we don't go overkill, right? Long as it's a conversation. I'm sorry, man. I know you're breastfeeding the baby, but this area is really not safe for you. If you could, please, can I get you to walk over to the designated area? Because, we don't want to have any issues. Kids are running, playing, splashing, things of that nature. And only for the best interest of you and your baby, can I get you to step over in the designated area? You know what I mean? Sometimes we go overboard. We want to be disrespectful. We want to show power. We want to do all this over a nipple and a titty. Like, come on with a joke.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that, me personally, as a human, as an individual, I try to do the right thing. It's a designated area. That's where I'm going. That's the rule. That's the law. That's where I'm going. Until I feel injustice is being done. Now, if I go over here and I'm doing this because I feel like, you're a racist or you're whatever, and I'm trying to antagonize you and influence you to act a fool right now because I know of a certain stature that you live. But for the most part, I believe you out of character if that's not the area you're supposed to be in. Period, point blank. Do the right thing. It's not about entitlement. It's not about privilege. It's about just making sure that you do the right thing and keeping down the drama. Ain't nobody got no time for all that. Go sit your butt over there in the corner and get out the way. You over here by the pool, people running, people moving, people, doing their thing. Get out the way. Stop trying to be seen. Go sit down and be in a nice, corner where you can just have that one energy, you and your baby, handle your business and come back.
Wow. Toya, I asked a question earlier, and I want to get your take on this right here. Situation like this mother could have ignited a lot of different things. She could have played on people's emotions and say, well, listen, they won't even let me. I'm just trying to feed my baby. They won't even let me feed my baby, blah, 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 blah. And then people get sympathetic to it and started joining forces with her. That could have turned very ugly simply because of the fact that she wanted to go against the rules. Is that right or wrong?
I mean, yeah, it could be like that sometimes. That's the world we live in. When people start to rant and rave about things that are right, it's an energy.
Yes.
That thing's an energy. That's why they're like, don't complain. Don't do this. Don't do that. Get other people riled up. You get other people riled up, then here they come. But no, right is wrong and wrong is wrong. Sometimes it's all about how we do things, not what we do. And a lot of the times in these positions, just like when we be at work and people want to do something because you think there's just no problem. You think it's just okay. But we have rules and regulations for a reason. And if it was okay, 9 times out of 10, we would allow it. But because we know that there are other provisions and other things that can happen, it sometimes often becomes a rule. And oftentimes when it's that, I feel like you should just, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of be easy and do the right thing and not try to get people riled up just out of your personal feelings. Think about, the why that it's like that.
Wow. And that's good. And that's what a lot of people don't want to take the time to do. They don't want to acknowledge that. Ryan, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I agree with everything everybody's saying. But at the same time, like, if like Toya said, you came at it with the safety aspect and was respectful about it, then yeah, you could word it in such a way that mother could see the reasoning to probably move herself away from the side of the pool, right? But I think like Toya said, it's just a breast and a nipple. And it seems that there are certain individuals out there who would rather draw attention to that when it's such a natural thing for a mom to feed her baby. Who cares? Ain't nobody worried about her. Like, let her feed her baby. You know what I mean? And if the state law,
Ryan, let me ask you this question: If while she's feeding her baby, while she's breastfeeding her baby, one of her other children, because say she got 2 or 3 kids, say she got 3 kids, she's breastfeeding her child right there in an area that says no eating or drinking, and then the other child, or another one of her children come up and say, "Mom, I'm hungry too," and she reaches to the bag and give them a sandwich, and then the third one come up and say, "Mom, I want something to drink," and she reach in the bag, get one of them little drinks, put a straw in, and give it to him.
That's breaking the rules.
How do you draw how do you draw the line between that? Because she's feeding all 3 of her children. Just she's feeding one, what you say is more natural than the other, but still she's feeding.
You nickel and dime the situation right now.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Are you talking about chips and a soda versus breast milk? Like there's a vast difference.
What we're talking about is eating in an area that is designated that says no eating or drinking. And so if you, like I said again, if we want to be technical about this thing, technically she's feeding her child in the area that says no eating or drinking.
That's okay.
So I don't see where the difference lies, and y'all help me understand this. I might be wrong. I don't see where the difference lies if she's breastfeeding, feeding, or she's feeding chips, sandwich, or she's giving a drink. She's still feeding her children.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm gonna just have to agree to disagree here. Like this is a whole scenario where, like I said, we playing nickels and dimes. Like she got the quarter. It's not chips, it's not sandwiches, not pop, it's not juice. It's not going to hurt anything or anyone. It's not going to harm the water, because that's why they say no eating and drinking there. It ain't got nothing to do with protecting anybody. It's about spilling stuff in the pool. And if she goes swimming,
what is she doing? What is she doing to that baby? What is she doing to that baby?
She's nursing.
She's feeding.
She's nursing. Hey, that breast milk ain't gonna hurt the pool.
Tomatoes, brother, but still, she's feeding.
What happens? She get in the pool, Raheem?
I hope she can swim.
No, what I'm saying is,
Ibrahim, hold on, brother. A lot of people here. Hold on, brother. I'm coming to you. Hold on.
She get in the pool. She gonna leak. That milk gonna get in the pool anyway.
Okay. So does that make it right?
I'm just saying, man, it's some things. This is nature and nurture at the same time. And it's some things that we try to make an argument out of that don't need to be argument based, right? Like, yes, for your safety, please move over here. That's completely acceptable, other than approaching a nursing mom and being like, you're feeding your baby by the pool. You can't eat and drink here. You got to move. Like that's completely too soft.
Everybody got their rules for a reason. And they set their own rules based on how they want to run their business. And if their business structure says that they don't want no eating or drinking in this area, then you're coming there to acknowledge and go, hopefully to go by the rules that they have placed in and put in order.
Sure.
For that reason, she could have. The baby's not gonna get no more nutrition here in this area right here by the pool than he or she's gonna get over there in the designated area. So take a couple of minutes, walk over to the designated area, sit down where you're in the comfort or whatever. Hopefully they made it real comfortable for you, and feed your baby.
So let me ask you this: what happened if she pulled out that state law that says she can do that anywhere she's authorized? She's authorized to be there.
Okay.
She could have sued the mess out of them.
She's not authorized to be there. No,
yes, she is.
Because she's not authorized to be there. Go ahead, Cassandra.
No, Ryan. It says that where she is authorized to be, she was not authorized to do that in that area. They strictly had signs up that said no feeding or drinking in that particular area. So all she had to do was walk over to a designated area. It would not hurt that child to wait a couple of seconds or whatever for her to get to another area. But no, right there, she was not authorized to do it there, according to the park rules.
Good deal. Let me go to Ibrahim. He has something to say as well. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I think we're forgetting something. That company also, since you're gonna put the company in there that make those rules had to fall under he's licensed, had to fall under state constitution and regulations and laws. The law clearly states the woman is authorized to go there because she's a participant in the park or near the pool, whatever reason she want to be there, sit around the pool or whatever. She's authorized at that point, and she's also authorized by law and state statute, to feed that child. Now, I heard, see, it reminds me, God knows, I came up doing the MOOC. See, y'all take things for granted now, but there were rules that said in Georgia, in the 60s, that said you could not go in a white restaurant, unless the Max fought that until the end, even when he became governor, right? They had rules. They said, no nigga at this water fountain, right? That's the rules. That's the law, right? That no black people allowed this amusement park used to be on Metropolitan, right? That was the law. No black people could buy. It was borough law could not buy land out there around Cascade Road.
Mm-hmm.
They had a sign, a big old brick wall said payroll blockade. There's still laws of redline and stuff like that. There's groups of redline, the laws against redline. I have people practice it anyway. So you can put an arbitrary rule up, which doesn't support. If you sign a contract, if you get a ticket from somebody say we're not responsible for the damage to your car, blah blah blah. Well, that's a lie. They are responsible. They do have some liability to damage to your car or your car getting stolen. A lot of people fall for that, but then if you go to court on them, there's all kind of statutes that say yes, they are responsible because you paid to park on their lot. So they probably some safety. Or if you get mugged on a Walmart parking lot, they're responsible for that. Even though you sign a contract, I come that you travel at your own risk, they still responsible for security of that parking lot. So I go on and on, right? I think we're trying to impress how we feel about things and how people feel about things then, and now it's two different things, right? And I'm glad today that a lot of people are not involved with the judicial system, legislative system, because we keep coming up with all these different crazy laws and don't know that these are documents that are fed conscious, but be more conscious about the people and what you're affecting. So, if they apologize, I didn't see the whole story. I didn't see the story. But if they apologize to her, that means they knew that within her rights and under the state, under the Constitution state or the licensing board, that she had the right to do that. Discrimination is a very funny thing. We talk about privilege. My God, y'all privileged to everything now.
Is that discrimination, brother? Is that discrimination? Because they have a rule for their business, and they say that they don't want any eating or drinking right here in this area. And y'all have gone way on out, pulled out all these laws and all these things from our state, said this and that. But still, these people, they fighting right now with people saying that this young lady, we will talk about that some other time, but she's actually talking about she don't want to serve transgender people that's transgender. She don't want to do that, and they got this big fight going on right now, whether she's right or whether she's wrong. And so all that goes into what we're talking about right now. My thing is, was she wrong? Hold on, brother. Was she wrong? They got their rules. She paid to come into their park. She paid to come into the park, hopefully to go by their rules. And one of their rules is that you will not feed. Doing this, they're not gonna sit here and write every little thing about, well, you're not gonna feed candy, oranges, apples. They're not gonna do all that. They say no eating or drinking in this area. That covers all of it. And if she's feeding her child, then that child is consuming something. And so if that child is consuming something, that's called eating, and that goes against the rules. Why are we making it so complicated?
Well, y'all making it complicated. It's pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple as far as the law concerned. They got to follow the law.
Mm-hmm.
They could put up a rule saying, black men, just like the restroom company. I don't know if y'all forgot that decision. Well, I'm against people that are not born female or don't have made a sexual assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Cut everything off, right? Then go into a woman's restroom. I got children, wives, sisters, not like that.
We're going to wait. When we bring stuff, we're going against our topic, brother. Mm-hmm. We go. Let's. Okay, stay right there, Ibrahim. We have about 10 or 12 people on here, brother. I'm coming to everybody, but I can't just stay with you. I got to move around. Let me go to Zamari. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you. Jamal, what do you think? Good morning, young lady. What do you think about this? We're talking about what we're talking about right now. There's a young lady here in the Georgia area. She went to a water park. In that water park, they have a sign: no eating or drinking close to the pool. She started breastfeeding her child. The lifeguard came and look, you cannot do that here, ma'am. You have to go in a designated area. You cannot eat and drink in this area.
They
That's
told
what
her that?
they absolutely did.
Oh, they would have had hell with me.
Why?
Number one, because I've done that very thing.
Mm-hmm. In an area that said no eating or drinking.
I look, when it comes to nursing my kids, I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere. Tell me I can't, because I know my state laws. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what your sign says.
Mm-hmm.
My state law tells me that is my right to feed my baby wherever I need to feed my baby, whenever I need to feed my baby. So I don't care about their rules.
So basically, what I'm hearing you say is you're gonna totally disrespect all the rules that they have for their
Why
establishment.
can't I?
And because
No eating or drinking. Am I making them? I'm not getting crumbs everywhere.
doesn't matter.
Where's
They
that
say
milk
no.
going?
They say
Straight
no
into
eating.
that baby's mouth. And if it's dribbling anywhere,
It
it's dribbling down me.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters.
They have a rule
Because
that
that
says
is
no
a
eating or
level of
drinking.
discrimination, Raheen.
How?
And that is something that women fight desperately for, is the right to breastfeed wherever.
Explain to me how that's discrimination. They have rules. It's like if they have a rule say no drinking in this
You're
area.
discriminating a
I go to
nursing mother.
Samari. If I go to the mall, I don't drink. But if I go to the mall, I know there's the Mall of Georgia. There's an area right there where there's a sign. There's a food court, and right there, there's a sign before you leave the food court saying no alcoholic beverages past this point. Now, if I go into that mall and I get me a drink, and I walk past that point, I'm going walking around, looking in the stores, drinking my whatever it is I'm drinking, I'm subject to be arrested because of the fact that the rules say no alcohol. Don't say you can't drink alcohol in this mall, but you have to do it in a designated area. And if I go outside of the designated area, then I broke the law.
So you're saying that woman should have been arrested because her baby was hungry?
No, I'm saying that she went against the rules that these people have in their establishment, saying no eating or drinking close to the pool. They didn't say that she cannot breastfeed her child. They said just not in this area.
See that, so that is where I have the issue with that right there. It says no eating or drinking. It doesn't say no breastfeeding.
It's eating. That's
No,
drinking.
it's completely different.
Wow.
So what then?
Let me say this right here. I look at, and I could be looking at this thing totally wrong, but I look at it if eating as something solid going into your mouth and drinking as something liquid that's going into your mouth. If it falls in one of those categories, you're eating or drinking. If the milk is a liquid, then you're drinking.
So let me put it this way. You go to the zoo, they have designated eating areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever gone to a zoo and seen a mother giving her child a bottle outside of one of those areas? Because I have. Have you ever seen anybody give them any crap for it? No.
Maybe they're a little more lax on the rules than what they are in this water park. Maybe they're just a little more lax on the rules.
What is the difference between giving a child a bottle and shoving that in their mouth, which I can almost guarantee you, if it had been a bottle, they wouldn't have said anything to this woman. It was because she was nursing.
I made that point earlier. I made that point as well earlier, and I can see your point, because I said the same thing earlier. Had it been a bottle, would they look at it in the same way? I agree with you. But at the same time, I cannot say that they're wrong because they're enforcing the rules that they have for their establishment.
But it's a double standard, though, right? Because it's like you said, with the bottle versus the breastfeeding. That's where the discrimination comes into play, right there. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, Mundo.
Okay, hold on, Ibrahim. You know I'm gonna mute you, right? You can't do that, brother. You don't know what is doing that. Don't do that to me, brother. Don't do me like that. Man.
I got my phone on mute, man.
Yo, how can I hear you then?
Well, I just took it off mute.
Okay, brother. Okay. So,
that wasn't him.
Who was that? You?
Of course not. I don't do that.
That wasn't me. Oh, somebody just did that. Said they don't do that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll put it on mute.
All right,
But
good
you
deal.
want to, you don't have no problem with that, man.
Good deal. Good deal. Appreciate you. Let me go to Toy You with a T. Toy You with a T. What's on your heart, brother? Sister. Well, oh Lord, Toy You gonna get me. I say, what's on your heart, brother? What's on your heart, sis? Don't jump on me. Don't kick me too hard.
No, I'm good. No, you good. You know, this is something like how I just said before. Out of privilege, we want to do things, right?
Mm-hmm.
There once was a law that we couldn't go in certain areas. We had designated areas. They don't care if you're breastfeeding or not. They don't care if you were innocent or not. You break a law, they're gonna try us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about us having no baby in our arms. So when it comes to law, us black folks take some of these laws really seriously, even if we break them, because they're held to a different standard with us. So for me, you know, being black in America, I know that when it comes to a law, they don't care about me breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And it is in my best interest that if I don't want no problems with the law, that if they say no eating and drinking, that means I don't need to be feeding my baby outside of the area, because it may be possible to bring some drama my way. Because now here we go, we're trying to tiptoe and pity pat. Oh, well, no, I'm a mother, so I get to do what I want to do because my baby hungry. So I get to go outside the guidelines and try it. And then when you get tried, what do we have to blame it on then?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. I understand the entitlement of just being a human being, being a child of God. I get to go where I want to go, do what I want to do. I get it. But when you're dealing with other little demonic little humans, it can have the potential to cause other issues. But some of these other issues can turn into law. And I feel like we've been here before. That is why we have breastfeeding laws.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have them now.
Mm-hmm.
Too many people are having friction on what it is. And sometimes it's because it's inappropriate. Others feel like it's inappropriate. Some people believe in it, some people don't. Some people get too explicit. Whatever it is, when you go and you take yourself onto a business or corporation, they then have another set of rules and bylaws. And we, as a corporation or company, have the right to where we feel any kind of way to refuse some services.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have our own set of rules and laws when it comes to a company. Now, when we're guilty of breaking the law, if we're guilty of breaking the law, the state and federal laws with our rules, then that's enough. That's when it becomes a financial matter. But at the end of the day, if we have accommodated you with a designated area, the key word is a designated area, designated and authorized is the same thing. This is where it gets tricky at. So for her to be a mother, again, I still think that it's probably, if you're closer to a pool or outside of the designated area, this is where the problem comes in at. It's not that we don't want you to breastfeed. We just have a particular area for these people to do things. That's why I compared it to being diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
If your baby is diabetic, it's a more potential emergency that you got to stop right there where you're at and feed your baby. You know what I'm saying? Should someone be escorting you outside of a designated area for your safety only?
Mm-hmm.
But we still need to maintain the importance of getting this baby fed because it's crucial and critical. I get that. But we can feed the baby, the diabetic baby, while we walk over here and not stand in the way. You know what I'm saying? Or not hold up. You know, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But again, we're on a facility that you paid to go see, and with a different set of rules. And this is why I think you should just be, you know, I don't want to say compassionate, but considerate, and just go to the area that they're asking you to. You know what I'm saying? That's just because they have one to accommodate you. If they didn't, then I can see the fight. You don't have a place for me to go.
Yeah.
But since we do, you should go. You know what I'm saying? I think you should go take them couple of little feet and get out the way. That's just consideration of the other people that's there.
Exactly. Badger, talk to me.
So, as I was mentioning earlier, and thanks to Cassandra for reading off that law, is there are loopholes that people take advantage of. Breastfeeding is a very sensitive topic, and one of the fighting things, especially when it comes to water parks, is they're leaking anyway. What's the difference? So it's I love what Toya was saying, because you would think it's easier to, just follow the rules and the law. So I understand the designated areas for food and drink. However, a breastfeeding mother is a multifaceted situation. Because if they're not, she breastfed her child in the lazy river at that water park, and that's where they're not supposed to eat and drink. Yet at the same time, any woman that's hearing a baby crying, or most women that would be hearing a baby crying or anything that's been breastfeeding and stuff, would be lactating. So that drink is getting into the water anyway. So at that point, does that mean any breastfeeding mother would not be allowed into the lazy river at that water park because of those kinds of things?
I think we're reaching when we say stuff like, she can't get in the water, and that has nothing to do with the rules that we're talking about. I understand what you're saying, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It's cute until the baby 5.
But see, my thing is this. My thing is this right here. We're reaching right now. I think we're really reaching. Saying that she can't. We're talking about we're talking about feeding the baby. We're talking about breastfeeding the baby in an area that is not designated for you to do so. There are areas that you can go.
No, I understand.
Imagine what is to say, or where's the difficulties in taking 10 steps and walking over to the designated area and still doing what you want to do? You still gonna feed your baby. You're still going to meet the needs of the baby. You want to take 10 steps, walk over there, sit down in a nice little comfortable chairs we got for you over here, recline yourself if you need to, and feed your baby. What's the complication in that? Why are we so set on, no, I want to do it right here. I got to be right here. Why?
And to be so that's a 2-answer question. One of them Toya already hit on, and the other one is what I was mentioning. A lot of the changes that's happened throughout history to get some of these laws passed to protect and things of that nature was because someone went against those rules and went, no, this, I don't agree with this, and it's, not right. So the issue comes into play where if breast milk is considered drinking and eating, where's the fine line of these other situations that encompass a woman that's breastfeeding?
Wow.
And that's to me, y'all know I'm an advocate, and I work with lawmakers and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of fine details that at times get left out, or rules at establishments that don't cover certain things. Like if they don't want drinking food and they're getting onto this woman, well, she can literally bring up she's lactating in the water. So does that mean if she's breastfeeding that she's not allowed there because there's no drink or food at all? This is those fine-tooth arguments, these loopholes that aren't being discussed or covered.
Wow.
If you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying, but I also think that we're really splitting hairs. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, why do we even have rules? Why are there rules?
Because there's always somebody going to challenge it.
Exactly.
You got to set some boundaries somewhere with some people, because there are people that try you. So less is better. It's always better. You don't have to say a lot of things. You don't have to go into detail. You don't have to break it down. No eating in this area.
Yeah.
Period. That covers everything. Bubble gum. Oh, I just chewing gum. No eating. Get on over there. Chew your gum, come back. Make it simple. Now, of course, they realized they might have been a little petty. and they said we're going to take this under consideration. Well, yeah, but I bet you one thing: they can't get sued. They can't say they. Nobody can say they discriminated. I know it's healthy. It's healthy. That's not the point. Being healthy, granola bar is healthy, but go eat your granola bar over there. Simple. I mean, while you trying to make your point, move over there, because today we have this sign that says no eating. Well, that's just a baby. Take your baby over there and feed your child. It's simple. It's already self-explanatory. You know, I always have y'all be using these big words, so I be trying to compete.
Wow.
Oh boy, we make can y'all hear me? We make things so difficult. It's not. It's not difficult. It's simple. No eating and drinking in this area. Here's the kicker, the other side of the table. So because people are don't wash their hands and they pee in the water.
They do. Yes, Lord.
Water splashing all over the place, and here you are. You want to? Oh, I want to feed my baby. Got a little pee on it now. How about that? Tastes a little salty. Tastes a little salty now. Eh? How about that?
Wow. Let me see.
Never thought about that.
You can put that extra nutrition in that baby milk. Y'all be ashamed yourself.
It's natural too. Little pee is natural too. Take that. Try to make a point. How about that? How you feel about that one?
How you gonna do that right there? Listen, we got a guest. Let me see. Can I get him in here? Solo, are you there? We got a guest that hopefully I see him there. He may have stepped away for a second. But Solo, are you there?
Yeah, yes, please. I'm here.
Can you turn your video on for us? Are you able to turn your video on?
Yes. Hold on a bit. I'm not the one controlling it. Allow. You go to allow. Yeah, allow.
And I got it.
Sorry,
it's okay. It's okay. Get that video on, man. I want to talk to you. We're gonna talk for a few minutes, and then we're gonna. And I would like to know how you feel about this topic that we're talking about. I know you've been on with us for a minute now.
I was outside.
I'm sorry?
I was outside, but you can ask me again, and then
there you go. There's your video. Got you. I'll first before we get started, I want to explain to everybody. I met this young man yesterday. I actually met him yesterday. And I was at the Guitar Center. I had to go pick up a few things at the Guitar Center, and this young man was in that. He walked over here, and another gentleman was with him as well, and he walked over to the keyboards, and I say, man, what you know about them keyboards, man? He said, I could play. I said, oh, I said, go ahead, man. You can't play that doggone keyboard. And let me tell y'all something. This young man blew me away. He blew me away. I said, and we talked, and I said, look here, man, I want to get you on my broadcast in the morning because there's a lot of things that's going on. It's not just that. I'll first introduce yourself, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna get into your story.
Hi everybody. I am Solomon Fatoma. You can call me Solo's Beat. I'm a music producer, studio sound engineer, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm from Africa, West Africa, Sierra Leone.
Good deal.
And I'm here to participate and perform at Yo-Yo Ma's Silk Code Global Musician Workshop in Boston.
Now, tell everybody, first explain to everybody, because a lot of people may not know who that is. So explain to them who that is and how you got to this point where you are right now.
Okay, so Yo-Yo Ma is a world-renowned cellist, and is the founder of Silk Code. So Silk Code did they put out things out there for people to apply, and I and my team, 3 of us, we were accepted from Africa, and funnily enough, we are the only Africans
Wow.
for the first time. Yeah,
Wow.
to be a part to teach music, to perform, and like cultural exchange, basically.
And so how did you, and I'm gonna ask a couple of questions. We got quite a few people that's on as well, as you heard earlier. They may have some questions for you as well. But how did you get to the point where you actually were able to go to Boston? How were you selected? And from how many people?
So I missed the audition. Actually, I missed the application last year. So after my concert, they accepted everybody, and everybody was asking me, "Solo, did you get accepted?" I was like, "For what?" And they said, "Oh, Silk Road has accepted us," and I was like, "Okay." And they said, "You need to find a way to reapply." So I reapplied, and then they told me I need to send 5 different videos of myself. I mean, different content. And I was like, okay, if that's the thing, then I think I would be there already. So I had to send lots and lots of work for me. I think I sent 7.
Okay.
And yeah, that was how it happened. And yeah, I feel it's the work of God.
Absolutely. And you were selected, and now you're going to Boston. Tell us about the experience that you're going to have. What are you looking forward to being in Boston, and what is this whole experience going to be like for you?
Well, of course, it's going to be people from 70 different countries, and I am super excited to meet lots of musicians. And it happens, even my people out there in Sierra Leone were asking, "Why aren't you working?" For like 2 months, I stopped working. I was just practicing and just getting to know my music more and getting to know, because I was super excited and very ready to come and jam and meet people and connect, and most importantly, learn other cultures. So yeah, and then I'm hoping to take it back home to see how I can develop the music ecosystem in my country.
That's powerful. Now, how many lessons have you? How long have you taken lessons to learn how to play?
Oh, I've never learned how to play keyboards or play music. It all came to me through dreams. Was that when I was like 7 till tonight, last night. Like every day I sleep, I just see this man who is in shadows. I've never seen his face before. He's never spoken to me. So he will be playing, and then I must watch. I mean, he sits me down, and then I must watch. And then have been dreaming myself performing all the time. But funnily, most of the things that I've dreamt, and most of the places I've dreamt seeing myself perform, I have performed there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And hold on, I don't want to blow over what you just said, brother. I don't want to blow over that, because you said you've never had any formal lessons. It's a person that come to you in your dreams or is in a shadow, and you've never seen his face, taught you how to play.
Well, not taught. I must watch him. That's it. So I should watch.
Wow.
I like it or not, I have my session with him at night.
And so that to me that's amazing, because to be able to play, and I heard you play, I know how you play, and to be able to play at that level and has never had any formal training, I got to go to Toussaint. Toussaint, what do you say to that, brother? That's powerful to me.
I love it. I love it. Gifts.
Yeah, I think
that's all I could say.
Yeah,
gifts from I have to say from God.
Yeah.
He gives whoever he wants. That's what I like about God. He does whatever. Man, I want to hear you play, man. Stop playing. Just stop playing.
soon.
Yeah, we go hook up. But when God has a way of being able to give whoever from wherever,
yeah,
talents and gifts that that only he can do that like that.
Yeah.
And when people say what you said, they're like, man, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But you don't have to
Yeah.
believe it. The proof is
Yeah.
in the pudding.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's no doubt when he gives a gift, it's automatic, man. You can say, man, look, man, it's almost mesmerized. I can't wait to hear you play, brother. I'm gonna keep
And
saying that. But there's other
and
people on the
I got a gift for you, man. I got a gift for you. I got a
Don't do
gift
it.
for everybody. I have a gift for everybody. No. I'm not gonna sing, not this time. But if you want to hear this brother actually play, come to the Redeemed Awards. He's gonna bless us at the Redeemed Awards.
I was
Yes, sir.
hoping you say
Yes,
that.
sir. He's going to bless us at the Redeemed Awards. He's going to perform at the Redeemed Awards. And that's so powerful because God lined it up, man. I had no business being at the Guitar Center yesterday. I never really go over there like that. And I went there, and when I walked in the door, that's who I saw. We just walked into each other. So it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Cassandra, Cassandra, what's on your heart? I know you're blown away right now, but what's on your heart?
Yeah, no, I love it when people can acknowledge, and a lot of people won't even understand what he said happened to him, and that's okay. People don't need to understand the giftings and callings of God and what He has ordained for people to do. And we've heard stories like this before. People, young kids, would sit down and start playing, and they never had one lick of lesson, not a lick of lesson.
One lick of lesson.
Sit down and play like they're not a lick of lesson. And it's God. It's a gift.
Yeah.
And I applaud him, for being bold enough to speak that, because people think you crazy. This time, it's yeah. People think you're crazy because it's stuff that God does sometimes through us and in us that we like, boy, ain't nobody gonna believe this or that happened. But congratulations, and I look forward to hearing you play as well.
Absolutely. Ryan, anything on your heart, brother?
Oh man, I think it's a blessing for sure, and it's amazing. I wish I could be there to hear this brother play for sure. Just keep going at it, man. Listen to everything that apparently God has to give to you, because He's going to take you to heights you never even dreamed of if He's visiting your sleep and showing you what to do.
Let me ask you this, Beats. Let me ask you this question: when it first happened to you, when you first had this experience, did it scare you?
I know I used to cry and go and meet my mom because the melodies were very beautiful, and I never know how to play. And my mom was a pastor, but she's late now. She died almost 11 years ago. So I used to tell my mom, I saw this man and I'm hearing things. Sometimes he comes, sometimes I just hear things. Now, like lately, I just hear like beautiful melodies, but now I can interpret those melodies now. But before, I don't know what to do. I used to cry and meet my mom, like, I like it, I don't know what to do. And then she used to tell me, you need to pray and wait. You need to pray and wait. So I was like 12 or 14 years, and then one day my mom called me up in the church because there was this keyboardist who I was not scared, actually. I was just too passionate to want to do it. And then there was this keyboardist who was playing at my mom's church, and he asked for them to pay school fees for 2 years, and then he only went to church for about 2 months, and then he disappeared. So my mom just called me one Sunday. It's like, come and play. And she said, hallelujah, anyhow. Let's just do it. And I was like, and then I boldly asked her at the church, I was like, who told you I can do this? Or why do you think I can do this? She said, just do whatever you want, just press.
Yes.
And then miraculously, I was on track. I was on track. And then that's when I started going passion for it and rehearsing every day, trying to remember the dreams, trying to remember what I had or saw, for my dreams, and it was very difficult. I don't have keyboards at my house. I used to wake up in the morning without talking to anybody, walk all the way like 1 or 2 miles to church, and people will be having issues with me because like, how can a kid wake up in the morning and not say good morning to elders? I mean, Africa, we are keen about respect, but I never told them, except my mom, I never told them what I was going through, and if I speak, I'll forget. So
Wow.
So
Wow.
I have to remember the tune till I go to church and try to figure it out.
Wow. How far do you want to go with this thing, and where do you think it's going to take you? Because there's a journey attached to this. There's an absolute journey attached to this. Where do you want that journey to lead? May not be where God take you to, but where do you want it to lead you?
Well, one thing I've been saying to God whenever I pray is I want generations to know I was here. That's how far I want to go. I want,
What is your favorite piece to play?
I love jazz music. I love to decorate things. So I love to I can say mess around. So I love jazz music. So I usually lately I follow Oscar Peterson, George Duke, all those guys that, I mean, you heard me play yesterday. So that's the kind of thing I love doing.
Okay. Do you have an ear for music?
Yes, I listen and play.
Okay, so I could play something and say play that, and you'll be able to duplicate it.
Yeah, sometimes I'll get it exactly, but I'll do something very close, so it's instant. I can listen and play.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Curtis, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning? Curtis,
What's up, man?
can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Good morning, Curtis. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, man. What's going on with you?
Man, we talking to this young brother right here, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Solo Beats, man. This young man has an incredible story. Incredible story. I know you heard a little bit of it, man. What's on your heart? The way he learned how to play and where he is, man. You know, his brother's from Africa, man, and he got accepted to come to Boston to play. I don't know if you're familiar with Yo-Yo Man. He got accepted to play with Yo-Yo Man, and that's huge, brother. That's huge. And he had no formal training. The way that he learned how to play is something come to him in his dreams. An identity come to him in his dreams, and in the shadows he listens. Am I getting it right, brother?
Yeah. That's
it. And he listens, and he's learned how to play to the point where he's on his way now, man, to play with a world-renowned musician, man. Been accepted to play with this person, man, and the world is his oyster right now. The world is his oyster. What do you say about that, man? How powerful is that to you?
God's blessings for God's people.
Yeah.
Man, what you gonna say after that?
Wow.
I mean, if you look at the historic pattern of music, all of our greatest musicians did not know how to read music or didn't know how to play according to the teachings of the science when they started playing.
Yeah.
That was years later. All of our greatest musicians, going all the way back to, I believe, man, this thing go all the way back, man. Beethoven he was born a musician. He didn't know how to read no music. You know what I mean? Mozart, if I'm not mistaken, Mozart was the same way. Like your greatest musicians, most of them, when you realistically look at the pattern that God lays out, is when God gives you a gift, can't nobody take that away from you. You understand? See, when you got that gift, right, in music, okay, now that we have the science of writing music, I can take that away. All I got to do is change. I change the bass clef to a treble clef. I change the meaning of things, and I can change the way that music is written. But when God gives you a gift,
not written on paper. That's written in your spirit. So all I can say is God's blessings to the brother, man. I wish you the best.
Absolutely.
You know, may God continue.
Good deal. Good deal. Zamari, anything on your heart, sis?
Raheem, did you just
I'm
cut me
sorry,
off?
I'm here. I'm just
No,
slightly distracted at the moment.
No, I didn't cut you off, brother. You stopped talking. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's in a connection or something. No, I didn't cut you off at all.
It switched to my phone.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it switched to my car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just heard a silence come up, and I thought you was finished. You got something else on your heart?
No, I was just saying to him that God bless you and bless the communities for which he will represent and defect. Because at the end of the day, God put in him the universal language. We run around here, we speak English, they speak Swahili. These people right here speak Spanish. These people over here speak French. These people over here speak a multitude of languages. I never knew how many languages it was on the planet. But the one language that's universal is music. So that speaks volumes to God's power and God's purpose. So, brother, God bless you, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Zamari?
I'm half here and half not. I'm distracted at the moment. But what's up?
No, we're just actually about the experience and this brother, man. He wasn't taught, but he was taught.
Look, some of the greatest musicians to ever grace us through history were either self-taught, knew how to play music just by listening to music, never even having anyone sit down and teach them how to, pluck a string or, hit the keys a certain way. It's amazing. When you have that ability, that's something special. That's extremely special. Unfortunately, I was never gifted with anything like that. I wish I had been. Because my kids love music. They, if I was able to teach them how to play stringed instruments and all that, oh my gosh, they'd all have that. But I don't even have an ear for music as far as tuning an instrument. So they're out of luck with that. But no, that's an amazing gift that you have, bro. Amazing.
Absolutely.
And use it to the best of your abilities, like with what you're doing. And you're giving something to the world that not a lot of people are able to offer, in the way that your heart is open to offer that. So I absolutely love your heart for it, for sure.
Thank you.
Good deal. Good deal. So, brother, the floor is yours. What is on your heart right now? What is the next couple of steps for you, man? What do you want to go? What do you want to do with it? And just the floor is yours, brother. What's on your heart?
Well, I'm still led by him. I'm still allowing him to lead me because I'm here and we woke up yesterday morning and we didn't even plan to go to that store. We missed the first one. And then we met you. So I think I'll still keep following my essence.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Whatever he has in store for me, he will get me there. He'll get me.
There you go. Just strap on your seatbelt, man. Strap it on real tight. It's gonna be a fantastic ride, man. It's gonna be a fantastic ride. I'm gonna tell you something. Yes, ma'am.
Did you say he's going to be playing with Yo-Yo Ma?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right there. He has hit the pinnacle when you playing with Yo-Yo. I mean, I love classical music, and you don't get any better than him. So, bruh, that right there for you to have been invited to play with him. Oh my God! Yeah. God's hand is all over that because he is phenomenal. And so, just think of the doors that will be open just as a result of you being able to get in that arena with Yo-Yo. So blessings, and I'm going to be praying for you as well.
Thank you.
Exactly. Now, from this experience, and I heard you say earlier that you're going to have an opportunity to meet a lot of great performers, artists, if you will, and that's amazing. But what is it from this experience, from the Boston experience, or your whole experience here in the United States of America? What are you going to treasure the most?
the surprises. Funnily, I'm here, but I'm still in shock.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
I don't know what I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
I'm just moving. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like you understand, like
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
blessings. Sometimes I'm like, dude, he's doing too much
Yeah.
at this
Well,
point.
see, my thing is he knows exactly what he's doing and who he's doing it with. And so, you know, you're worthy. That's why he selected you. You're
Yeah.
worthy. That's exactly why he selected you, brother, because he could have selected anybody he wanted and he picked you. That should within itself should make you feel very special that he selected, he picked you. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, on this thing, I'm glad that he has talent.
Ibrahim, your phone is very low, brother. It's very low.
Okay, you hear me now? You hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm glad he has the talent and
Mhm.
that he can hear music and respond and play it. I would suggest, like a lot of our great performers, that he learns his trade. He learned notes, how he can redo things and record, how he could expand on it by different chords and stuff. We have a natural ability to emulate. You know, a lot of us do. A lot of us had and do. I have a lot of musicians in my family, singers. You know, and but learning the notes and then getting to practice, improve whatever you do. That is kind of natural in a lot of ways. You know, for a lot of people to pick up music that way. A lot of blind people pick up music. We even got deaf people that by learning notes and their frequency of notes, they're able to write music. We had deaf people do that. So this is a good thing that you've been blessed with. Improve upon it, expand upon it, and reach. And I thought you said yo. I know you. I talking about you were talking about Yo-Yo Ma. He's a classical and jazz classical stylist. I mean, this guy's phenomenal.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And just take this opportunity to let him mentor you and learn from him. This is one of the top masters, you know. And sometimes he might see something in you, you know. So I like Sam I Am, you know. He got mentored by the other guy that played piano and sing and everything. Anyway, I can't think of his name, but the British guy. But anyway, but getting mentored by the best like that at it's early in stage. I don't know how old you are. It's early in stage, or even if you're 50, it's a magnificent thing. You should never hold it, but never put your head in the sky and thinking that you've arrived or you're that good, you know, because you'll be disappointed when you find out there are people that are better than you, but you have a natural knack and talent for being able to voice your notes and voice your sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what's good about it. You know,
So,
I haven't heard you play music, but by the accolades, and I trust you, Brother Raheem, on your summation of it. But you know that this, you know, used to be you say go high as the sky. Now we're going to the stars. So
there you go.
Keep shooting for the stars, then the galaxy. You know, all right.
Absolutely. Go ahead, brother. You was about to say something.
Yes. So in relation to what the brother just said, so just a short backstory and then to answer that. So when I started figuring out when I was little, my mom told me a short story. She said, he is the beginning and the ending. God is the beginning and the ending.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, God never told us, or God never tells us, he is the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom sat me down and was like, okay, now here's the gift. Now you need to develop the gift. So learning the theoretical side, I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned my piano chords, how to read a beat, how to interpret chords when I see a score sheet. And yes, I learned all that
mm-hmm.
in the middle. So I mean, the beginning he gave me. In the middle, I've been working on that, and then the ending, I don't know what's coming. So in relation to what the brother just said, I've been doing that. I've done that already, and I'm still working on it. I mean, it's not just listening to the essence; it's about listening now and putting things together.
Yeah.
Just that I'm unable to sit down for someone to teach me. I just depend on the dreams and then wake up and then find ways to get it right. But yeah, the theoretical aspect, I've been there. and bring there. And then I've worked on albums. I have 2 albums out, and I'll send them to you for maybe you like them and you play them. And
absolutely, man. I know I love them, man. Stop that, man. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, I would only say that the sky's the limit. That's it. I mean, we all don't have to travel the same road to get to the destination.
Yeah.
Especially if God got his hand in it. You don't have to mimic nobody. What he does, he works with people that are unique. And I love that about him. And I say this again, when he give a gift, there's no limitation. And one thing I like about what he says generations. Didn't he say that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That means a lot. If we didn't catch that, that means he's not only just concerned about him, but there's somebody coming behind him that he's interested in.
Yes.
We got to plant seeds in other folks' lives, especially the folks that's coming behind us. Well, I don't care what kind of gift you got. If you make it all about you, then you're missing the whole point of why God gave you the gift in the first place.
Absolutely.
But he said that. There's another thing that he said that I like. Me. It got nothing to do with nobody else. God is the beginning and the end. He didn't tell you nothing about in the middle.
Yeah.
But he's able to implant things in your life, our lives, to make the middle. He'll do the rest. And he don't need our help or permission to do none of that. So man, look, I applaud you. I'm thankful for you, man. I'm acting like that's one of my sons or something, man. I'm just happy, peacock proud.
There you go.
I know around here say porcupine.
No. Hyena, happy elephant. Hyena, happy elephant, elated, and porcupine proud. That's how you got to say it, brother. Hyena, happy elephant, elated, and porcupine proud. That's what I am right now. But man, that's amazing.
Bless you, young man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bless you, young man. Thank God for you. I'm glad for you. Bless you.
Okay. Now we're about to get out of here. Well, we're about to go to the next segment of our broadcast, and I definitely want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you. Now, if somebody want to get in contact with you or obtain some of your music, brother, how can they do that?
Okay, so on Instagram you can check out solos_beat, solo SOLOS _beat BEAT. On Facebook, Solos Beats, SOLO' and space and beat. On YouTube, same thing, Solos Beats. On Spotify, same thing, Solos Beats. You can check out Jungle Heart album. It's on Spotify, it's on Amazon, it's on Boomplay, and all other platform. But yeah, Solos Beats everywhere, and you can eventually see stuffs about me.
Now I want you to make a promise to me, brother.
Yes, please.
I want you to make a promise to me right now. We're gonna do it online because I want to have it video, and I want to have a video where you making this promise to me. All right.
Okay.
2 years from now, when you're one of the biggest stars that the world has ever seen, I want you to come back and have another conversation with me.
I will. I'll never forget yesterday. I'll never forget yesterday.
It was powerful.
I'll never forget yesterday.
Man, it was absolutely amazing, man. So I know that God is going to do some absolutely amazing things in your life.
Amen.
Continue to follow him. Let him lead you. Amen. And we talk sometime about the noise that goes on. Don't pay attention to the noise.
Sure.
Continue to follow him. Continue to follow him. Keep your focus on him. I promise you, he'll get you there. He'll get you there. All right.
I believe.
Good deal. Love you, brother, and we'll be talking real soon.
And thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Can you share his information?
Absolutely.
On the screen so I can get it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll put it on there. Now, we are about to transition over to our second part of our conversations today. And Cassandra, I'm going to start it off with you. Cassandra, you there?
I'm here. Oh, Lord. Okay.
We talked about the breastfeeding. This is our second part of our conversation. In this day and time, it's something that I didn't hear about growing up. Didn't know anything about this growing up at all. At all. But in this day and time, you have kids that are allowed to pick their sexuality, to pick the sex that they want to live up under before a certain age. Now, when a person gets to be of a certain age, if they want to select whatever they want to select, that's you're a grown person, do what you want to do. But should children, Cassandra, be able to pick their sex? Cassandra?
Yeah, I said we
too.
talked about this before, and I definitely do not believe that children should be given that responsibility to choose their gender. And I've talked about the fact that I have hermaphrodite in my family, so that part I definitely, have my concerns about as well. But I do not agree with children making those types of decisions. And I think parents sometimes need to be careful when they're making the decisions, because I've stated this. I had a friend that chose, the child was born hermaphrodite, and they chose to make the boy a boy. Chromosomally, it was split, and now he's gay. So, who are we to, I don't know. I just, no. Children, absolutely not. I do not think children need to be given that responsibility.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Ryan, what do you say to that, man? Children, before a certain age, should they be allowed? And the reason why I saw something else on, I think it was on CNN yesterday, I was looking at it, and they were saying that it's something that's growing in our society now, where children are making the decision whether they want to be male or female. They're making the decision. Children before the age of 18. So my question is, should they be allowed to pick their gender?
Absolutely not. Scientifically, your frontal lobe doesn't even form until you're over the age of 25, between 25 and 30. And it's at that age when scientifically you can even be considered an adult. Mm-hmm. So that's not to say that people don't know right from wrong by that age, but if you think about it, you're giving a task that is going to define the rest of their life to a child that really don't even know not to touch the stove when it's hot. Mm-hmm. You're setting that child up for failure for the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the materials I've read here lately, even with adults making that transition, they've gone back on it. Oops, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
This has destroyed my entire life, and now I'm trying to go back, and I can't. So, no, kids don't need that sort of responsibility or that life-altering effects to change their life like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Stanley, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Doing good, brother. How are you this morning?
Hey, doing good. Asking a question, brother. And I saw something on, I think it was CNN, where they was talking about children. Children are actually picking their genders, whether they're male or female. And I'm asking, and like I said earlier, if a person is an adult and they want to make a decision, make your decision. Do you? But do you think a child should be able to pick their sex?
And that's one of the problems we're having in society. They pick an agenda to stick with, because if a child can't, be adult enough to make a decision on when they can have sex, how can they be adult enough to make a decision on their own sex?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's stuff like that. They can't have, you know, it's illegal for a child or anyone to have sex with a child, say 13, 14, 15 years old, things like that nature. So how can you let a child decide whether they want to be a boy or girl?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of these folks, man, are sending mixed signals. A lot of them claim to be saved, they claim to be Christians, you know, but the Bible says man or man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say anything about any other gender. So they start out as a boy, they're supposed to finish life as a man. They start out as a girl, they're supposed to finish life as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Why can we let children make those type of decisions? But that's just the agenda that certain people are trying to push now.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to control the population of the world and all that kind of stuff, man. It's just, but no, in short and simple, no, they should not be able to do it.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Zamar, what do you say to this young child, 12 years old, little boy, say, you know, I don't want to be a little boy no more. I want to be a girl, and I want to go and have the surgery so I could become a girl at 12 years old. Should that 12-year-old be able to make that decision? Should the parents listen to the way that they feel? Because it's their feelings, it's their life. They want to know what they want to be at 12. Do they?
Man, they don't even know if they want to be an astronaut or a scientist or a doctor yet. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to let them pick their gender? Give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
No, that is not a choice that they can make at 12. Some people can't even make that decision for themselves as an adult. Like my husband was saying,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're going to put that on a 12-year-old. Now you got parents running around here with babies. And the moment their baby says, "Oh, I'm a boy," or "I'm a girl," then they throw him a party and go, "Oh, he's picked his gender." Really?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And see, that's almost like, and I don't know why this came into my mind. Like the gender reveal on when at a baby shower or something like that, the gender reveal. Can you imagine at 12 years old, you know, you looking at your child trying to figure out what gender he decide he or she want to be? And
But that's what these parents definitely do that. I've seen videos of it where they'll sit there, "Oh, so and so has an announcement to make. They've decided
wow.
they're a girl or they're a boy," and everybody sits there and cheers and claps and they throw these parties and it's a big to do, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong. You know how angry I'm speaking for myself here, but you know how angry I would have been if my mom decided that I was a boy for me?
Wow.
And then I grow up and go, "You know what? My whole life's been a lie. I don't want to be this. This isn't
Mm-hmm.
who I am."
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you're creating a lot of damage in these kids by doing that to them because a lot of them will probably grow up to decide, "Wait a minute." You know, they'll put
Mm-hmm.
two and two together eventually. A lot of them are going to be very, very angry and need a lot of therapy in the process.
Yep. Absolutely.
No, they don't need to be picking their genders. No, or deciding. Absolutely not.
Tucson, talk to me, brother. What do you say to this, man? 12-year-old little girl, say little girl come to you, say, "I want to be a boy. I don't want to be no girl no more. I'm a boy. There's a boy inside of me. I want him to come out."
Now you need some guidance. Let me talk to you. Let me sit down and talk to you because because you know got some cruel kids that will wait for you to show up at school with your decision that they've been calling you Johnny and now you Jane. And you trying to convince them, mean little bullying kids, because everybody don't teach their kids to respect one another. So you're gonna send your kid to school all of a sudden with his decision instead of you training up a child in the way that they should go. Why in the world would he say train up a child in the way that they should go when you don't even let them make that choice? Now, we don't force our kids to be a thing. We show them, we guide them. We're obligated to guide our children. And without no guidance, they can be anything. Sure, they can. Lord have mercy. But can you imagine? You know, this thing has gotten really out of hand, and we don't even realize how far we have gone. Because I don't know who started it. Matter of fact, yesterday I went on. I might as well tell you. I posted something because I was disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all there?
Yes, we here. Uh-huh.
Oh, I just heard something. Yeah. I was disturbed because they say trans children saves lives,
Mm.
and I was like, oh, really? So why are they, or some of them, a lot of them, committing suicide because they're not accepted?
Mm-hmm.
You want to force that. Adults are having big problems with being transgender. Now you're going to make a 11, 12, 10, 15-year-old child have that same experience? Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm.
I sympathize with the children, and
Yeah.
I blame the parents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. I think we just lost Curtis. I was going to go to Curtis. Let me go to who we got here? Ibrahim. There we go. I had to see who we had left on here. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say to this, man? I call on Ibrahim, and as soon as I call on that brother, he hang up the doggone phone. Ain't that something? Let me go back to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have much to say on this because I don't believe the children.
I got off of it accidentally. I'm
okay,
back.
hold on. Stay right there. Go ahead, Cassandra.
Yeah, my viewpoint on it is going to be the same. No, children should not be able to make those decisions because adults have problems making those distinctions as far as who they are, who they want to be. So I definitely would not want to see that in the hands of children. So my position is still the same. No, they should not be able to make that decision.
Why would that even, Cassandra, help me understand, why would that even be a conversation?
Because there are children that the youngest that I've heard, and I think I told you I actually directed a documentary on transgender people. And one of the young ladies said from the time she was 4, she was from Africa. From the time she was 4, she felt like she was a boy. Everything about her felt like she was a boy. She just knew she was a boy. That's what she said. So I mean, I'm not anybody to say who she said I thought she was. But as she got older, the feeling was stronger. And even though she was living in Africa with her parents, who definitely, I think her mother was an evangelist, she definitely did not, they don't go along with that. Her mother knew that something was definitely wrong. So I think that there are emotional and mental, psychological things that are going on with some of these people that need to be worked out. But this person, she actually came to the U.S. and began her transition to transgender.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, she's one of the nicest people I've ever met. Smart as a whip, but that's just, she said from the time she was 4, she felt like she was a boy psychologically, even though she wasn't physiologically.
Exactly. Ibrahim, a little girl, 12 years old, come to you. And she says, Uncle Ibrahim, I want to talk to you about something. I feel as though I no longer want to be a girl. I'm a boy. There's a boy inside of me, and I want to let him blossom and come out. And I'm going to get my sex changed. At 12 years old, Ibrahim, what do you say to her?
Well, I've actually had that from, let me say, 3 female relatives. Their thing wasn't so much being a boy, but they thought they were good as boys, and they like girls better than they like boys. And my thing was when they reached puberty, I was trying to talk to them. The mothers would tell them about boys. I said, well, you got to watch out for girls. And you know, it's early for a lot of them to really understand that. But I said, also, you got to watch out for the number one perpetrator yourself, your own feelings and emotions. You have to really identify that.
Mm-hmm.
And three of them went to a phase. I would call it a phase. And they came back, and now they have children, and you know, and all that kind of thing, right? And they so they even though they say they're a couple of them, one or two of them say they're you know, still open to engage in with men and women, but they're you know, primarily heterosexual or you know, bisexual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is another thing altogether. But one completely won't have nothing to do with somebody of the same sex. So so going through that, you know, really, I don't believe, and you know, I'm to the right of center, but still I'm a humanist. And I believe that everybody at a certain time should have a right. But there was an old saying, there was an old Supreme Court decision was called the right to speak out. And that was the fire in the theater. They'll pull that up soon when the black people start speaking out. You know, like you starting a fire in the theater. And they used that a lot of us in the 60s. That you had a right to say certain things like you holler, a guy you'll find and people were killed trying to escape the theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's happened a number of times in the last 20 years, the last 10, 20 years. But here's the thing, right? Anytime your right affects or interact with anybody else's right, like if you know, my freedom of rights, I want to marry a woman, you see?
Mm-hmm.
And then we go through the process legally, the person determined as a woman, whatever, then I get a boy. You know, well, it was actually put on Jerry Springer show. I don't know if y'all remember seeing that one thing. That's when it was early and people were starting to experiment that way. But no, as far as a child, I believe that you should let them mature and become adults. You know, let them navigate a little bit. You know, of course you can't let them; they're gonna navigate on their own. But give them standards.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know exactly what you think and know that you love them and you stand there for them. You know, but tell them exactly what you think. If that's against some of your morals, well, tell them. But then also tell them, you know, I love you. You still gonna be my child. You know what I mean? And so they respect you, because there was issues going on about some girls wanted to bring their girl home, her lover, and boy wanted to bring his boyfriend home. You know, my time I was saying, well, whoa, wait a minute now. Now respect go both ways, right? You know, I don't like that. That's not part of my makeup. So why would you do that? You know, if you're gonna bring them over, they're gonna be all lovey-dovey hugging. First time I seen a gay pride parade was in Boston, right? And they were acting, and it's against the law in Boston, sit in the park and kiss your girlfriend or your wife, and getting all emotional. And they were out there half naked, you know, hugging each other, kissing up. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole shock. But you know, I'm a humanist, and the human being has a right to be what they want to be.
Good
but
deal.
not at my rights, not against my rights, anybody else's rights, right? So if you want to be a boy, you want to be a girl, don't be trying to say it's all signs you were born that way. That's the way you feel. That's what you want to do.
Good deal.
We don't have sex. We have sexual.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Let's keep this.
I was gonna say we have.
Go ahead, finish it up, brother.
Okay. Puberty. You know, I mean, when you're born a sexual being, but it's not really predicated until you get older, right? Until you have experiences. But to go as far as saying that you're a boy or girl, I say, you know, say you want to be a girl, then hey, you can be a girl. But don't expect me to call you, hey girl, or hey sister, or hey, you know, don't expect me to do that. But I'm gonna respect you. I just won't use any sex at all, right? So we have to really think about that. But legally and the way things are going, the way the law is written, everything, hey, as long as you don't step on my shiny new shoes, I ain't got no problem. Go out there and do your thing. But don't turn a child into a boy. Don't change his sex. Don't change his sex. Don't change her sex until they get old enough to determine exactly what they are.
Good deal. Stay right there, brother. Stay right there, brother. Gotta keep it moving. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Tucson, you there?
Wrestling with just mute button. Got some food in my mouth.
Lord.
And I'm trying to figure out what age I want to be.
20.
Matter of fact, transhuman. I see people desiring, thinking. There's one man that thinks he's a cat. And he went through surgery after surgery. He must have a lot of money to make himself look like a cat. Well, he's a man looking like a cat, and everybody know it. I just don't see the point of subjecting a kid to that kind of trauma and drama, because he got to live in this mean society.
Could it be could it be determined?
Whoever.
Could it be borderline child abuse if you allow them to do that?
I would almost no, it's child neglect. It's neglect. It's kind of like, okay, I don't want to take out the time to really develop my child, so that's my escape to let them do their own. Let you just develop yourself. Just go ahead. Yeah, I got you out here like, wild animals. Once you're born, you're on your own. Like the polar bear.
Wow.
And so the society is just going to divide you up if you don't make it, then so be it.
Wow.
That's what I'm gonna leave you. That's the decision that I'm gonna make for your life. You do what you want to. If you don't survive it, it is what it is.
Wow.
That's the cop out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's what it seems. Most of that's what it seems like to me. I mean, because we are, and I'm gonna say it again. We have been given a gift to have a child. Now, I don't care if the child come out deformed or with special needs or whatever, but it's your responsibility to help that child develop. Not say, okay, well, I know you're born with no ears, so you'll be all right. I'm not gonna send you to sign language. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it.
Wow.
And I know that's far-fetched from what we're talking about, but why would we? Because kids don't know nothing. I mean, they don't know nothing.
Exactly.
You got to tell them, don't put your hand in that socket.
Yep.
And you know what? If you take your eye off of that child, they're gonna shock themselves to death.
To death, absolutely.
And then you're gonna be looking crazy. So if children are that vulnerable that they will walk out in the middle of the street in traffic, you mean to tell me that you're gonna make them decide for themselves who they are or what they are?
Wow.
I'm talking about a child. Here you are, you shopping in the mall, and all of a sudden you take your eye off a child and you can't find them. And they can't find their way back. Now they're missing. And you mean to tell me that you're going to give them an opportunity to make that type of decision? You crazy as all get out. I'm sorry. Society has fooled you.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. We've gone too far, Ibrahim. We're going too far.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Again, 508-924-3521. Phone lines are open. Before a certain age, should children be allowed to select what gender they are, whether they want to be male or female? Should they be able to select? Curtis, what do you say to that?
This is a fight that I tend not to try and step into. All I'll say is that you have to be mindful of who and what is making these decisions. And I'm gonna abstain from answering.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this part. Do you think a 12-year-old is mature enough to make that decision at all?
I don't think a 12-year-old is mature enough to make any decisions. outside of which sports they gonna play, which games they gonna play. I would not entrust me as a parent. I would not entrust a decision as heavy as that to be made by a 12-year-old. Notice I said me as a parent.
Absolutely.
As a legislator, I would not want to put that on a 12-year-old. If that's the case, okay, so we're going to start letting 12-year-olds drink now?
Wow.
Is that what we're going to do? So, but I'm going to abstain from even answering that, because the other thing is this. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah.
Because that is not a cheap surgical procedure. So, and of course, Medicare is not going to pay for that.
No.
Right? So, taxpayers not going to pay for that. Not collectively. So who's going to pay for that? So what you wind up doing is you wind up creating a culture that, and I've had one of these kids in my care that wind up catching a bunch of what's the charge? Prostitution charges, soliciting charges, because they are busy trying to pay for surgery that they can't afford. Sometimes we got to pay attention not to the actions, but we got to pay attention to what's behind the actions. Because this thing could be a ploy to, guess what? Feed the prison industrial complex.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
508-924-3521. Ryan, talk to me, brother. 12 years old, want to make a decision that's going to affect the rest of their life at 12 years old. At 12 years old, what do you say to that?
No. Nope. I can't even trust my daughter to have a cell phone at 13 and do what she's supposed to do. And you want to let a 12-year-old make a life-altering decision. I may or may not have talked about this before, but I had a person that I knew when we were younger, and his name was Steve. And he came to me one day and told me that he wanted to change genders. And I was like, well, what would you want to do that for? Because it's so hard in this world being a man.
Good Lord.
And I was like, huh? Do you understand the stresses that come with trying to meet your father's demands? Blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. I'm a dad.
Yeah, exactly.
And I said, sometimes you just gotta suck it up and go to work. That's exactly it. As men, we're supposed to just suck it up. I'm done with this. And he went and had gender transition surgery.
Wow.
And the guy, truth be told, was already suicidal. And those that have gone through the process, the paperwork says that their suicidal tendencies increase by 40%.
Wow.
It doesn't decrease after they become what they think they're supposed to be. It increases by 40%. So, he said, so my new name is Sarah. I said, no, your name is Steve, and I'm going to keep calling you that because that's what I know you as, is Steve. And a lot of people think that that's insensitive, but I was trying to help him understand that he's still going to be Steve and always going to be Steve, no matter what he cut off and add on. If I hit him in the mouth and go test his blood, it's still going to say he man.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't get rid of it, right? That's what you are. That's what you were born as. It doesn't change just because you cut something off.
Exactly. Zamari, talk to me, sis.
Exactly what he said. I mean, that's exactly right. You know, I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, it doesn't change. All it does, you think you're fixing a problem, an internal issue that you have from whatever it is, some childhood trauma, whatever it is, and you think that doing this thing is going to somehow repair that in you and make you happy, and it doesn't. You have to get to the, as we say on here, the root
Yes.
of the issue, right? We have to get to the
Mhm.
root. You can't get to the root by cutting something off and adding something else, or vice versa. You know,
Mhm.
it doesn't work that way. You can't slap a band-aid on a deep wound.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like with a lot of these circumstances and situations. They're trying to slap a band-aid on top of something because they think it's going to make them feel better. It's going to make them
Mhm.
happier because they're accepted where they've never been accepted before because of this lifestyle change. And that's not what it is, man.
No.
That's not what
No.
it is. And that's really sad. That's sad. And I
Mhm.
feel for those people. I truly do. I feel for them because in a lot of circumstances, they've been lied to with that stuff.
Yep.
You know, and they're not, and
Mm.
maybe they are seeking help. I'm not saying they're not seeking professional help. Maybe they are, but even now, a lot of these professionals, if you don't find the right one, they're going to go along with your game plan instead of trying to help you figure out your problems.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's even worse.
Absolutely.
So that's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stanley, talk to me, man. 12 years old, come to you. Uncle Stanley, I want to talk to you about something. I can't talk to nobody else about this. I want to talk to you about it. I know I was born Harold, but I want to be Harriet. I'm going out here. I know I'm only 12, but I want to have this sex change. Will you take me down there? Will you take me to the place? What's that conversation like, Stanley?
Well, all Uncle Stanley can do, pray for him, try to get him close to God, because there's no way I'm making that trip.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to hurt their feelings or anything, and try to have a conversation with them and their parents. But I'm a firm believer in men being men, women being women. I don't have anything against the gay people, the homosexual, anybody like that, but I'm not into that as well, because they're saying people are born certain ways. I think those things are a choice as an adult. But, when you're talking about a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old child making a lifetime decision on
Mm-hmm.
something sex, that's a conversation I pray I never have to have with my children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a trip I could not. I could take them right now. All I could do is talk to them, counsel, and get them to a preacher, get them to a family counselor or something, in hopes of changing their mind. But I could not. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. Cassandra, how do you handle that? They come to you. Aunt Cassandra, same scenario, 12 years old. They feel as though they've been born of the wrong gender. And they want you to drive them down there to have the change. What's that conversation like, Cassandra?
No, I'm not. No, well, first of all, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen. I'll have a conversation. I'll definitely give them some psychological counseling, because I think that a lot of times these people are having psychological issues, even as young children. So then that would not happen. Just plain and simple, that would not happen, and I would definitely get them some help.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Got a question for you. We're talking about genders. And should a person before a certain age have the ability? Paint the picture for you. There's a little you have a little nephew or something, a little kid in the neighborhood, 12 years old. They come to you, they call you Uncle Leonard. Uncle Leonard, I know my name is Charlie, but I want to be Charlene. I'm going out here. I know I'm only 12. I'm going out here to have this sex change operation so I could become Charlene. I need you to drive me down there. Come on, let's go. What's that conversation like, Leonard? 12 years old.
No, not at all. Let's go talk to your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go talk to your parents. That's it. I'm not. I rarely will have too many conversation as it relates to gender and things like that with a person. You know, I think what Miss Cassandra said is most important is counseling. But definitely, first place we're going to is talk to you. I'm gonna talk to your parents about that because I don't know if you've even mentioned that to your parents that you are having this issue.
And what if they say, no, I don't want you to talk to my parents. I don't want to talk to them because they don't understand. I don't want you to tell them nothing. I just want you to take me down there.
Well, you're a child. You don't tell me what to do. That's one. So we don't even get that far. We don't even get that far. I'm going to talk to your parents about it because you spoke to me about it. And because I actually care that much that I think that your parents should know that you have these types of feelings, and we can get you some counseling about them.
Wow.
You know, it don't have to be nasty about it, but I'm like that with all children. Me and other people's children don't have secrets.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's direct. I remember the first time I believe, you know, when they started this type of thing, when the insurance company would allow your child's health information to be private. Not if I pay the premium.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not if I'm paying the premium. So, you know, we definitely defer to your parents in these cases. But I don't, you know, the gender thing, I'm not going to take the forefront in that with anyone. That's your business. That's why I need to go get you some help. You talk to some professionals because I'm not.
Now, why is it in this day and time, Leonard, why is it becoming a big topic of discussion? Because, you know, it's really out there now. Why now, and why is it such a big topic of discussion?
Because it's popular to do. It's just a popular thing to do. You know, sometimes when you get sick of doing one thing, you'll just try something else. You know, you feel one way the next day, another day the next day, another day the next day. That's the way it is. When man doesn't follow God's rule, he's free to choose to do whatever he would like. And this is what people choose to do. They choose to play around with their sexuality. So it's not like it's something out of the ordinary for a human being. Human beings do these types of things all the time. They know they do things that they have no clue what the consequences or ramifications could be. And then they wind up in a bunch of despair and mess. So, you know, to each his own, hell as well. But I mean, these types of decisions need to be made when you're an adult, when you're fully responsible for your own self and independent. Then you don't owe anybody anything. You can go somewhere and chop your own head off if you would like. That's your business. But
exactly.
I'm not gonna help you do it.
508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to hear your input on this. Ryan, I believe you're jumping up and down over there, brother. What's on your heart?
Leonard said something that just reminded me of something. Don't get me started on these parents out here that's doing this stuff to their children just to fit the agenda that's being pushed. I've been seeing it all over the place. Hey, look at my child. They're finna have transgender surgery. Who cares? That's your private life. That's something that you're doing to your child. We don't need to know about that. Stop trying to make yourself look good or get some clout with these organizations out here by showboating your child around, parading them around like it's something special. You're damaging your child. Stop it.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. At 12 years old. At 12 years
Right.
old. Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm just gonna Lord help me, Jesus, please.
Come on.
I'm gonna gravitate to I honestly do not know if we have enough data to actually speak on what could be right and what could be wrong. I think we have a great deal of personal opinion. I think we have a great deal of parenting skills. I think we have a great deal of spiritual knowledge to stand on a belief and or ideology of what is right and what is wrong. But I don't think we have enough scientific data to say that a given parent is right and or wrong for giving their children a freedom of choice. Now, I'm not saying that they are right or wrong because there's not enough data. There's scientific data out there right now that says in support from the Rudy to the Tootie that being gay is being homosexual is not a choice. There's scientific data out there that says that there are people who are born gay for whatever reason. Then you can't ignore the scientific data that talks about, like Cassandra was talking about earlier, not that she was approving of anything. So let me clear that up. But the couple who had a hermaphrodite child and they snipped the wrong things. Right? So there's scientific data that could go against it, and there's scientific data that could go for it. I think our decisions is based off our own personal opinion. So, I mean, it's like if you ever come across somebody who wants to argue with you about the Bible. You know, it's just like yesterday when we was on the radio and we was talking and the issues we was talking about, and we brought up Adam and Eve, and L-Dog, rightly so, said, hey, look, hold on, there's holes in that story. I don't really believe in that part, or I can't accept that part of the Bible because there's too many holes in it. So I mean, I get what everybody's saying, and I get where everybody's coming from, and I literally have a dog in this fight right now. But even your own personal opinion, I have to ask myself, am I right in my personal opinion, or am I wrong? What does the scientific data say? Because I have the spiritual data, I have the personal data, I have the lived experience data of being a father and watching and helping nurture your kids and this, that, and the third. So I have all of those experiences, but I don't really have the scientific data to go with it to make a well-informed decision as to what is right and what is wrong in the situation.
Okay. Let me ask you this question, Curtis.
For all I know,
I'm gonna keep it real because men don't want to admit this, but for all I know, it might be our fault that our sons is gay. It might be our fault.
Wow.
But
wow.
who wants to admit that?
But see, let me ask, what do you say to the people? Because you said something in what you said, and you put a lot out there, man. But one of the things that you said is scientific data has proven, has clarified with their data that some people are born gay. Some people are born that way. What do you say to the people that says God don't make mistakes? And to say that a man was born a woman or a woman was born as a, blah, 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 however you want to chalk it up. They say God don't make mistakes. God made a Adam and God made Eve. And throughout the annals of time, he has not made a mistake. If you're either born a man or you're born a woman, you're not born mixed up. What do you say to those people?
What I say to those people is, you're saying he made a mistake. Don't put that word in my mouth. I said absolutely nothing about a mistake.
Mm-hmm. No, they're saying from your assessment of what you said about, people are born gay scientifically, scientific data has proven that people are born gay. That's the part that they're talking about right there.
No, I get it. But even if I said the scientific data is there, Raheem, I never said God made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
What if, okay, so I could easily come back and say, well, who said a mistake? What if that's just how God intended it? So if that's how God intended it, that's not a mistake. You're saying a mistake. People like that will throw that out there because they're saying a mistake to justify their level of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing is you're taking a word. You're taking I think that's a verb. I'm okay, but I'm okay in English, but I'm not all that. You're taking a verb and putting a verb, you're using a verb to describe a thought. No, you can't use a verb to describe a thought because now you're giving me my thought. You're telling me that I believe that God made a mistake. That's not what I said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what you say to people like a situation. No, don't throw that on me. Don't put those words in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
If that is your belief, that's how you're interpreting the situation. I haven't even went to the mistake level. I haven't even thought about it being a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's but in their mind, see, people think the way and the people receive things the way, and we got to move on because we only got a few more minutes, so we definitely got to move on. But my thing is, people think and receive things the way that they receive things, and from what you said about the scientific data has proven that some people are born gay. Some would take from that and say that you're saying if science is saying that some people are born gay, then God made a mistake in making them gay because people are not supposed to be that way. Let me wrap it up real quickly because I gotta move on.
So then I say to you, I say, then where's their true foundational belief? Because if you gotta understand that the whole comment of, oh, so you're saying God made a mistake. Listen to that carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're God made a mistake. Did this person come out their mouth and say God made a mistake and made them gay? No.
But what
they're saying is I perceive the world like this. And by you saying you're annotating that God made a mistake. When guess what? The average person that supports this thing, the last thing they would say is that God made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're getting authorization and approval to do certain things, is because they're standing on the fact that, listen, although I'm different, God don't make no mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gotta wrap it up. Hold on, gotta keep it going, Curtis, because like I say, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, there are some people that will have that mindset of saying, if you're saying science has proven that some people are born gay, God made those people, and they're saying, so now you're saying that God made a mistake in the creation of those people. That's all I'm getting at, and that's what some people think. Got to keep it moving, Curtis. Let me go to our Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I have an issue with right and wrong, sound and downright insanity.
Is there a good and an evil? No, there's something in the middle. Is either right or wrong? No. Is there in the middle of right and wrong? Where is it? Is it when a person is functional or dysfunctional, mental or sane? You either one or the other. And it's not the point, but I mean, where do you for some kind of I guess my sanity, where do we say enough is enough of going in the wrong direction? Because I'm gonna just throw it out here. I mean, I might get myself into trouble, but I've been in trouble. There's a certain narrative that has been placed out here by a certain community that they want to lead the world with their mindset. And it's everywhere. So I mean, they ask, and I say this over again. They asked my son, do you and his wife, do you want to wait to let the triplets decide their gender, or you want to give them one? Man, look, they born yesterday. What are you talking about? Does that even make any sense? I mean, really, we're grown folks. Does that even make any sense? Here's a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 6, 7, 8-year-old person that wants to make a choice for themselves. Where is the parent? What are you doing? What are you doing as a parent, as a leader, as a person that is responsible for a young person's life? There's nothing wrong with loving your child like they are. You got to still guide them. You got to teach them how they're going to be able to deal with society, because once you get out there and make that choice, the rest of your life you're going to have to live with it. And when you have to live with it, don't be mad when your friends don't accept you. Because they got some children, man, boy, they'll hurt your feelings.
Cruel to the core.
And then here's the thing about it is, when you go and say, well, all of a sudden now I'm going to the girls' bathroom. I've been going to the boys' bathroom since kindergarten. And I'm in junior high. I'm going to switch this thing around. You're going to have some problems in the bathroom. Now, your mental state, your choices, now you're going to have to answer for them, because they're going to beat you down.
What you doing in here?
Not only going to beat you down, they're going to clown you. They're going to be tripping. They're going to do all. They're going to pull your pants down. And they're going to show you, little girl, they're going to show you your penis. They're going to do it. And here's the little boy that says he's a little boy, and this little mean little boy, and I'm just sorry, we're going to just go down. I'm going to get down and dirty. They're going to boot you over. And they're going to rape you in the bathroom to prove to you a girl, and they're going to make you pregnant. I'm talking about this mean society that we live in. Y'all know I'm right. I mean, I don't have to be right, but I sure ain't lying.
There you go.
You go right ahead. Let your child make that choice, and you're gonna have to live with your child's choices, and then you might have to bury them.
Wow. Leonard, talk to me, Leonard.
I think we should just be careful. You're as a parent, you need to protect your child. And that's what you need to do until they leave. I don't have no problem with people being gay or straight. It does not matter to me. But when you're talking about someone's child, that's different. And just like I wouldn't make that decision to have them do anything else I didn't care for, this is one of them. What would I look like going down there to help you do something that may cause you to kill yourself later? What then now it's my fault. Oh, as a parent, you can hold me accountable. Well, as my parent, you shouldn't have allowed me to do that. Because you should have had more sense than me. Now, what you do after you leave my house, I don't care if you paint yourself polka dot and put all the little pieces on you and just a revolving door for whoever you would like. But not under my watch.
Yeah.
I mean, just because this world is doing things don't mean we have to do them as Christians. If they sanctify yourself, not everybody else. So it don't matter to me what everybody else is doing. I have a lot of things that I would just think that are horrible to do, so I don't do them. I refrain from doing them. You know, all them times where you want to choke somebody out, do you do it? No. No, you know that money in the bank. You just will take the pistol and go in there and take it. Why? Because of consequences.
Exactly.
So you have to think of that. And you know, I've written on several issues, even with assisted suicide, for instance. I remember writing about that when Kevorkian first fell into this issue. Making those types of decisions for other people. But you know what? They have to be adults. And they have to be the only ones responsible for that decision. Too many people will ask you for your opinion, then go and do something stupid and then come back and blame you for it. As parents, we need to get away from that type of blame. Do everything we can not to provoke our children to wrath, but facilitate their best decisions as opposed to trends, fad, and what the world is doing.
That's good. That's good. Zamari, I see you shaking your head yes over there.
I'm just, good job, Leonard. Good job. I mean, honestly, but it's, you know, everything he said, it's true. You know, we are supposed to bring the best out in our kids and facilitate, you know, those qualities to the best of our abilities and nurture that instead of going along with whatever bad decisions they want to make. That's our job as parents. So, you know, if we in that situation were to okay them going and having this surgery done, or like what Wise Man said too, like go ahead and let your junior, your 17-year-old, your 16-year-old, let him go and suddenly he's Sally today. See what happens. Because he's absolutely right.
I don't
The
want to wear them pants
consequences are
today.
only going to come back on that child, but on those parents too, because those parents are going to have to deal with their kid coming home and getting, you know, having those marks, being beat up and all these different things. And then, like you said, possibly burying them.
Exactly.
But you let your child make that decision because that's what they wanted to be. They wanted to be Sally. Now, do you regret doing that because of the outcome of it? Because of the bullying that they've received? Even if they were already being bullied, that's a whole other level of it. And that's going to cause so much more damage in their lives if they survive through it.
Exactly.
Why would you do that, man? No, this world's messed up. Just
I don't
raise
want to
your
wear them.
kids to be the best human beings that they can be. And let's put all of the sexuality and gender identity stuff to the side. And if that is what they want to do when they are adults, then so be it. But our job as parents is to just raise them to be the very best that they can be with all the other crap put to the side. That doesn't matter. It just doesn't. And we've
I
lost
don't
sight
want
of
to
that.
wear these pants today. I don't want to wear them pants today, Daddy. I want to wear that dress. You want to what? You want to what? Like,
Wouldn't happen, bro. Would not
No.
happen. No.
Talk to me, Cassandra. Look, Roger said, Daddy, I don't want to wear them pants to school. I'm in the second grade. I don't want to wear them pants. I want to wear my sister's dress to school today. You want to what?
Okay, well, yeah, that young, no, but I just, you know, they have a right to choose as they are adults when they're old enough to choose whichever way whichever way they want. But as a kid, I would definitely discourage that type of behavior. And like I said, we keep forgetting, if you have a child that is there is something psychologically going on with the child. So I'm not going to make fun of it or make light of it.
Yeah.
I will get my child some help.
Absolutely.
So it's not something that, you know, oh, Johnny wants to wear a dress today. No, Johnny needs to get somewhere. That's mental health. That's a mental health issue. And as they get older, if Johnny decides at 18, you know, he wants to wear dresses, then that's Johnny's decision, because he or she is going to have to deal with what society is going to throw at them. But young children, when they're responding like that, you need to give them some help. There is something going on with that child. So I don't make light of it, because I do mental health. I know, I've talked to kids that are in that type of struggle and parents that have children. You don't make light of it, you get help.
Exactly. That's good. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
I mean, y'all are hitting out the ballpark. But let me talk to it. Like, so I'm a human, you know, right or son. Number one, I still believe that it should be up to the child when they reach adult age. But one thing I think that's lacking right now, we don't take responsibility for our actions. If you do something, there's going to be an opposite equal reaction. Then you have to deal with it. You know, if you're gonna commit suicide because you decided you were gay and that was a bad call, then hey, he's gonna do it for anything else. You know, and about being born gay, that is a toss-up. They have an argument in Europe right now about this British track runner. I think over there they call morphodite SD or something like that, right? Now, even though the boy still has some male genitalia or mixed genitalia, I don't know for sure, they didn't really go that far. The thing is that he has to take a testosterone shot to reduce his level of testosterone. Men are born with XX, women are born with XY, right? So, men born with XY, women born with XX. So if you have that, for whatever you think you are or want to be, technically you're still a male, right? And but there's some women that have XX, and they have a high problem with they have a high testosterone level, you know, and so science still leaves us with questions, and where the questions go, we turn to. When you have questions, most of the time when we don't know, we turn to religion, or we turn to our belief in our creator. And but saying that, science go both ways on that. So like he did say, some people they say are born gay because of their biological or condition, right? Some, you know, that's a very small piece. I mean, you count morphodite for people with SD around the whole entire world, that number gets real small. You know what I mean? And you're talking about people that think or wish or hope they want to be. Now that number gets getting larger and larger and larger. You know, I can't put any credence on it. But however I do, I understand people. So that's why I had to make the decision to take a neutral stance, but tell them where I stood. You know, I let them try their life. You know, they were young. They come to me and say, "Oh, I want to be a girl." Hey, I said, "Well, you make that decision when you get old enough to do it, right?" Or something like that. If I want to be a boy, you know, same thing, right? So I had to let them, because this is their world. They got to navigate their community. And I was saying, right, you going to school like that, or some school, they will beat you down. They will literally beat you down. But there was one school in Atlanta, over in East Point, I don't call the name of the school, and that was known for producing. They've seen that every middle school girl over there, just about everyone, was gay. It was one time that I had a family member that was going to Morehouse, and he left Morehouse on his Army scholarship because he said that most of the guys over there were just too gay for him. You know what I mean? And I've heard that quite a few times. But what does that mean? That means we still got to operate in our society. If you're in a society of gay people, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Oh, y'all wrong. No. Hey, you're going to learn how to live and get the hell out of there if you can, or stay there and just try to adopt a judge. You know, but that's human nature. Right now, where we stand at, I still stand for that heterosexual. I think that we should, if we can't teach our kids heterosexual in school, then why should we be teaching them about being lesbian or transgender in school at a very young age? Then be asexual. Because we always been asexual in school. I mean, we just had different things, but asexual, right? You know, let both boy and girl wear pants or something like that. If a boy wear just put a Scottish thing on. You know, so that's how men dress in Scotland one time. Let's don't perpetrate the gayness and the transgender. At the same time, you know, let's don't stand such a hard ground that we can't be human enough to know that things happen. You know,
good deal.
Beyond our knowledge.
Good. So watch this. Let them well dressed, but call it the kilt. Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey. All right, we ready to get out of here, man. Anybody got anything before we get out of here?
Now, hold on a minute. Don't be make fun of my culture. I got a kilt in my closet.
There you go. There you go.
We're gonna go there.
Hey, look here. Look around over there with that dress on.
Mm-hmm. Let my man hairs hang out and everything.
Lord Jesus.
Hey, I just wanted to. Can I say something right quick?
Go ahead.
Look, what's man's number one job on the planet? What was we told to do? Go forth and procreate.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that if you're doing it with the opposite sex? Nope. End of discussion.
Wow. I would give the number, but we're about to get out of here. So I'm going to do this right here. Captain Leonard.
Sir.
What is going on at 3 o'clock today?
If you didn't get a chance to hear this show in its entirety, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3 o'clock p.m. today, Eastern Standard Time.
Good deal. He even put the Eastern Standard Time in there. And I got to relay this message. Willa sent me a message earlier while I was broadcasting. She's actually in Texas right now. She's in Texas for the week. And she said it's hot as the Dickens over there. She says she said she burning up over there, but she said she miss all of y'all so much, man. She can't wait to get back with us next. She'll be back next week. But she said it's hot. She's in Texas. And you know, she had already told us she was gonna be on for this week. But yeah, man. She says it's hot. But she wanted me to let y'all know that she miss you. She miss you. Each and every one of you. Cassandra?
Yes, sir.
She's so excited. Pray us out, sis. She's so excited about this.
Father, we just thank you right now for your goodness and your mercy. God, we ask you right now that if we have done anything against your kingdom knowingly or unknowingly, God, we ask you to forgive us, God. We ask you to shield and protect us, God, for those things, God, that are in this world that may bring us harm. We ask you, God, to let our hearts and our minds be open, God, to you and to your spirit, God, and to what you would have us to do and say. God, we are not perfect, but God, we are pressing toward that mark. We love you, God. We trust you. We thank you for everything that you are doing in our lives, God. We ask you that those things that are not pleasing and that are not in your perfect will for us, we ask you to remove them, God, by your blood, God, and by the Spirit of your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you for Raheem. Thank you for every person under the sound of my voice. Bless us. Use us for your glory this day and forevermore. These and all other blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. And with that being said, man, we can get on up out of here. It's been a great broadcast, man. We covered a lot today, y'all. We covered a lot. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank you for joining. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:17. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light on you for the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it. And I'm sure that you will appreciate it as well. Love you all. Talk to you tomorrow morning. God says the same.